Loco fruit juice cooler from McCain. The switch is electrifying.
Enter the Coca-Cola Hardee's Indy 500 sweepstakes. You could win a new Pontiac Trans Am. Enter and win instant food at Hardee's or one of Hardee's $5 gift certificates. And discounts on Coca-Cola products. Enter now at Hardee's or where you buy Coca-Cola products.
Yes, I'd like to enter the Coca-Cola Hardee's Indy 500 sweepstakes.
Enter a world of dreams and desires.
Domino.
Where a woman's deepest fantasy becomes her greatest fear.
Domino.
Brigitte Nielsen is Domino.
I think somebody's spying on me. Mon Dieu.
What she wants is love. And she'll do anything to get it. Domino.
A sensual adventure.
Rated R.
Starts tomorrow at theaters everywhere.
If it's time to watch what you eat, there's a meat that's surprisingly low in calories. Pork, the other white meat.
The book is Scandal by Christine Keeler. How do you want us to think of you now?
Well, as somebody who fought back and as just a ordinary person told the truth and so overcame the powerful that tried to stop me doing it.
Paula?
Probably the same, that I told the truth. I didn't lie. I never have lied about it.
Jessica?
A survivor.
I want you to be a survivor. Stop this crying.
I just got lawyers. I got the whole world breathing down my back. But I'm gonna...
You're great on the radio, and some of you station managers, if you're watching, give this girl a job, and she's good. She could help your state. Are they victims? Are they participants? Come on, they had some responsibility, Rudy.
No, I'm not saying they took two. I mean, they had to say yes also. But it's usually the women who are the bad ones, and I hope that guy can carry on in his career. And I think that's some sort of national sexism that you know, it may take a couple of decades to correct, to steer.
In 10 seconds, whatever happened to Mandy Rice Davies, your partner in partydom?
I think she's married a very rich man, and she's doing very well for her.
Well, that's one way out of a jam.
Suits her.
I want to thank you all, really, for coming on, and the best of luck to each and every one of you. And you too, Rudy, of the Washingtonian magazine. I don't know why I said Washington magazine. It's a good publication. Thanks. See you again.
The best of Indiana's high school seniors take on the Soviet Junior All-Stars, live tonight at 8 on TTV4.
We got boats, we got boats at Ted's Aquamarine. We've got boats and we've got service. Ted's is your complete boating center and Mercury outboard dealer. Our service department has certified factory mechanics, and we have boats inside and outside, powered by Mercury outboards. Get the boat you want when you see what you like at Ted's Aquamarine. Ted's Aquamarine, your authorized Mercury dealer and complete boating facility.
Where can you get a complete family meal with the unique taste of Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Not here. Cross the road.
Where can you get a deal on 10 pieces of original recipe chicken made with the Colonel's secret blend of 11 herbs and spices, plus hot mashed potatoes and gravy, fresh coleslaw, and 4 buttermilk biscuits?
Not here. Cross the road.
And where can you get a 10-piece family meal for just $10.99? Why, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Where else?
Cross the road to Kentucky Fried Chicken, yeah.
We'll look at the impact of that fuel spill in Boone County on the 10 o'clock news later tonight.
The Russians are going to be big and strong, tough. They're going to play half court. Probably 1 or 2 guys are going to handle the ball most of the time. It's going to be a physical game. I think we'll have a good team. We're going to run. We're going to play hard on defense. And most of all, we're going to have some fun doing this.
That was Scott May, coach of the AAU 20 and under All-Stars, who tonight will meet the Soviet junior national team head-to-head at Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana. Promises to be an exciting game. We know you're tuned to see the action. Stay with us. We'll be back for tonight's contest on TTV4.
AAU basketball is brought to you in part by your Central Indiana Chevy dealers. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy. By Wheel Horse Lawn and Garden Tractors. Wheel Horse power works for you. By the INB banking centers throughout Indiana. By Sunoco, home of Ultra Gasoline, the highest octane gasoline under the sun. And by Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut salutes the fine athletes of the AAU team.
The Soviet Junior Nationals versus the Indiana AAU All-Stars. It's live tonight from Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana. Hello, everyone. I'm Chuck Marlowe, along with a fellow with whom I've had a great relationship through so many years, and you've seen him not only on the court, but behind the microphone before, too. George McGinnis, it's great to work with you.
Well, it's great to work with you, too, Chuck, and I'm looking forward to an outstanding ball game.
Well, this should be an outstanding game. What do you see in the game, very briefly?
Well, I think that it's going to be a wide-open type of ball game. It's tough to put together a structured offense in an all-star situation. I think you're going to get an opportunity to see some real exciting players out here tonight.
All right, we'll be back to take a look at them in just a minute.
Nothing's too good for my baby. Nothing. So my baby gets very special treatment.
Treat your baby to the gasoline with special detergency that protects the entire intake system.
Fill it up. Ultra.
Sunoco Ultra 94. Clean power from the highest octane under the sun. Nothing else can match it.
Nothing.
That's Hank on the new wheel horse.
Our old one lasted over 15 years.
Uh-huh.
And here's me clearing leaves.
And now we're into winter with the wheel horse in the snow.
There we are picking up our wheel horse, and we didn't need a down payment.
It's Wheel Horse Freewheeling Days. No money down and easy monthly payments when you save on a Wheel Horse tractor.
Those were great. Can we see them again? Come on.
See Hirsch Robinson Motor Sales and Humphreys Wheel Horse. Buy a Chevy truck and your local Chevy dealers will throw in the automatic transmission, no charge. With the full-size Chevy truck, you get more payload than Ford, and the automatic transmission, no charge. More cab room than Ford, and the automatic transmission, no charge. Better highway gas mileage than Ford, and the automatic transmission, no charge. A heavier frame than Ford, and the automatic transmission, no charge. This no-charge automatic transmission offer will end soon. Savings like these are why in Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
This is it, kid. The highest hill, the toughest customer, and the most abundant pizza in the business. Not like those skimpy pizzas you used to deliver. You're at Pizza Hut now. This baby is loaded. You're telling me.
Oh, a new one, Albert.
Your pizza, sir.
See you tomorrow, rookie.
The most abundant pizzas. No one delivers what Pizza Hut can.
Call Pizza Hut Delivery and get a medium meat lovers pizza delivered for $8.99 or 2 for $12.99.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
All right, this game will be played on the international rules, and we'll explain those to you a little bit later on. Chuck Crabb, however, is ready with the starting lineups.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again, and welcome to the Assembly Hall. The Amateur Athletic Union is proud to be bringing you this evening's game. Here are your starting lineups. For the Soviet junior team, at one forward, 6'8", number 11, Kaha Shangilov. At the other forward, 6'8", number 12, Arturas Kanishovas. The center, 7 feet tall, number 10, Alexander Akunsky. At one guard, 6'4", number 7, Vasily Karasov. And at the other guard, 6'4", number 9, Yuri Leonov. And now for the Indiana AAU team, at one forward, 6'10", a senior from Bloomington High School South, number 31, Chris Lawson. And at the other forward, 6'5", a senior from Floyd Central High School, number 32, Pat Graham. The center, 7 feet tall, a junior from Lawrence North High School, Indianapolis, Eric Montross, 00. At one guard, 6'3", a senior from Terre Haute South High School, number 4, Steve Richardson. And the other starting guard, 6'2", a senior from Peoria Central, Peoria, Illinois, number 20, Chris Reynolds. The starting lineups, ladies and gentlemen, for this evening's game. International rules, those of FIBA, will be used. You see the cone-shaped lane. The three-point line has stayed the same specifically for this game. 7 fouls until the bonus situation. You'll see the officials handle the ball less on turnovers. And also the alley-oop is not legal under FIBA rules. Another difference, when the ball hits the rim, it's free. It can be swatted away. There is no such thing as goaltending.
Okay, we are all set to get underway. Mac, it's great to have you up here, and we're looking at teams, I would say, physical size. The Indiana All-Stars maybe have an edge, but this Soviet team is tall.
Yeah, they are. I was looking at them warming up, Chuck, and they do have some big people out there.
All right, the All-Stars pick up the ball. This is a young fellow you want to keep your eye on. Cheaney is on the bench. That's Reynolds, Chris Reynolds, and as they move the ball around, Richardson from outside for 3 on the way. It's off the rim and also on the line, and so the All-Stars turn it over. Now remember, in any backcourt violation, the official does not have to handle the ball. And the first foul of the game, and that's going to go against Pat Graham. Pat from Floyd Central, Mr. Basketball. Average 42 points per game. Boy, he's quite an all-around player.
Yeah, he really is. He's quite an outstanding player, and I think he's going to make a good addition to this Indiana program here. Picked up a little silly foul there, Chuck, just by reaching in and not using his feet.
And the Russians move the ball around. Soviets with it. They have some pretty good size. That's Shengelia. Number 11, Karasev. And Shengelia, he plays outside, but can post up. There's their post man, number 10, Okunsky. Shengelia off the rim, no good. And the rebound into the hands. Oh, it's missed, tipped around, and finally tipped in Okunsky.
From what I understand from the coaches, Chuck, of the Soviet team, Karshanovas is probably their most outstanding player. He's a player who can go inside and out, so we look forward to seeing what he can do tonight.
The AAUs turn it over once again, and immediately the Soviets go after penetration. Fans wanted a travel. There is a travel as Shengelia moves through, tries to cut into the paint area. Lawson now in the inbounds to Chris Reynolds. Chris is so quick. He's from Peoria Central. Makes a good move. The deke underneath and the feed to Graham.
Outstanding pass. Boy, I watched this kid practice yesterday, and he was very impressive. He seems to have a good knowledge, great court awareness, as he done in this previous play, Chuck. Outstanding.
You know, in a game like this, George, I would imagine defense is probably the most important thing, and immediately it breaks down as they let Shengelia make the move.
That's exactly right.
It's 4-2, the Soviets with the lead, and we have played nearly 2 minutes. Feed inside, Lawson, but he was out of position to take the shot. Now takes the shot. Montross for the rebound. He goes up and he's fouled. Okunsky gets an arm over the young junior from Lawrence North.
Yeah, that's great hustle by Eric. He went after the ball aggressively. I think this young man has a real bright future, Chuck. He's definitely looking at probably an outstanding college career and almost for sure an NBA career also. He's a fine young player.
Eric Montross, undecided where he will play his college ball, and he hits the first of 2.
Also has a nice free throw touch, too.
And, you know, you examine that from all aspects. The first thing I think I look at, George, is the legs, how he flexes the legs. And he's got good rhythm, puts good rotation on the ball.
That's exactly right. I certainly shouldn't be talking a lot about free throw shooting because that wasn't my forte, but he certainly has a nice stroke.
Richardson makes the save off the boards. It comes under to Montross again. He draws the crowd, goes strong, and he's fouled, and that's the second on Shengelia.
I think, Chuck, that's going to be the area where this team of the United States kids will have to go continually is inside, and I think they can score a good foul repeatedly.
There it is again, double pump, and he gets it up and gets Shengelia to come across the arms. Kaha Shengelia, first foul, 6'8", from Tbilisi, Georgia.
It's hard enough pronouncing these Soviets' names, let alone trying to figure out what city they're from, Chuck.
Well, it's great experience. We had the chance yesterday to talk to their coach, Valery Platonov, and he expressed through his interpreter the great desire for these people to. Mike Woodson just came in. We'll maybe have a chance to talk to him. But a great desire for these youngsters to get an opportunity to play in international competition. Loose ball nearly stolen. Leonup makes the drive. Here is the pick by Reynolds. Boy, he just picked the pocket. And it won't go. Look at the battle underneath. Montross screened away, or he would have had his hands on the ball. Lawson under there, too. So the All-Stars really going strong to the boards. Near steal by Reynolds again. Leonup. And that's 3. And we have a foul underneath. It's going to be after the shot. And let's check to see who they make the call on.
Fouls on Karnashovas, Chuck.
Okay. Karnashovas.
There we see with the push in the back there, Chuck.
Okay. First foul on Arturas Karnashovas.
Very interesting rule in international basketball that I wasn't even aware of. Was the fact that if a player is in the attempt of shooting a three-point shot and gets fouled, he gets 3 attempts to make the free throw.
Russian showing some skill in handling the ball. Karasev. Shengelia. And dishes it off to Okunski. And we have another whistle underneath that's going to stop the action. And a foul against the Russians. Karnashovas' second personal. And the very international expression, who, me?
Yeah.
17 minutes, 1 second remaining first half of play. It's 7-7.
Chuck, these All-Star games are never easy. I think it's going to take the kids a little while just to calm down. I think right now they're playing on emotion. So you're going to see a few mistakes, but I think as the game goes on, you're going to see these kids perform better and better.
Well, Lawson takes it right to the basket. I think this may be a key to the Hoosier AAU's offensive strategy will be to drive on the Nationals. They're quicker, at least appear to be. Let's look at it again. Maybe you'll see. Gets a step on him, Shengelia.
Right. And Chris made a real nice move there. I think that's a move that when he has the big people from the Soviet team outside that he can make all night long.
Again, remember, we're playing a wider lane. This is the international lane.
The international game is a much quicker game, Chuck. As you said earlier, the officials don't handle the ball as much, which I think makes for a better and quicker paced game, more action, and more exciting for the fans, too.
Little hop at the line by Chris Lawson. He actually doesn't leave his feet, but he has a full arch extension. Makes it look like he's bouncing and hopping with the ball. This is Karasev. And a good step in, but it's kicked and knocked away by Chris Reynolds. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by your Central Indiana Chevy dealers. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy. That's Valery Platonov, their coach.
It's Karnashovas taking the ball out, Chuck.
Now, they let some height take it out, and maybe with good reason, because Indiana can defense pretty well. The All-Stars can. Oh, boy, he pops it again from outside.
It looks like
it's Karasev.
Karasev, that was the second three-pointer for him. It looks like a player who can hit that shot, and someone's going to have to go out and get him.
Reynolds, oh, there's a feed underneath, and he goes under to Pat. Pat Graham just made a beautiful baseline cut. Reynolds read it all the way.
Great play by Reynolds. Great court awareness.
Loose underneath is Karashovas. Knocked away and out of bounds. It's going to be the All-Stars ball. It is 11-10. The Indiana AAU All-Stars over the Soviet Junior Nationals. And the ball has to be taken out on the sideline. And again, you see no interference by the officials. Richardson to Pat Graham. There's a cut inside by Lawson. He's hammered. And you could hear that up here. Arturas Karnashovas with his third foul, and so Platonov is going to have to go to his bench pretty soon. Take a look at it again. You'll see the reach in, George.
As I said earlier, Chuck, this is going to be there all night for Chris, and I like the way that the guys are playing with a lot of unselfishness. It looks like this is something they've worked on, and they're doing a real good job at it right now.
Fake by Graham, makes an alley cut and draws the foul, and he goes again. The Russians apparently just have not been able to step over and take away the drive. And Platonov will want a timeout. Here's the replay.
they don't seem to have good foot movement, Chuck, defensively. So either they're going to have to probably go to a zone defense or get more help somewhere.
Okay, we are in timeout. 15:56 remaining. It's the AAU's 11 and the Soviets 10.
At INV, we know the feeling.
The feeling of success.
Wish that you were here.
The finals for the high school championship.
You know I wish I could be there.
Allen will inbound the ball. Heavy pressure. He finds Spice in the corner. A hand in his face. A shot. It's good. They won it all.
Hello.
Grandpa, we did it.
So I heard.
Not so long distance from Indiana Bell.
Isn't it worth the call?
Okay, George, this is what we see. This is what Chris sees from down low.
Boy, well, whatever he sees real well. This kid has got great court awareness, and I think that's outstanding for a young man of 18 years old to be that selective and the way he deals the ball off.
Pat Graham hitting both free throws. It is the bonus situation now as the Soviets are over the limit of 7. Karasov on that last foul. And they make the drive, and too many steps. That's Karnashovas with the turnover. And once again, the All-Stars up quickly. Look at Reynolds' drive. Finger roll misses. Lawson tries to follow. Here come the Russians on the break. Look at Reynolds' back. Amazing, just amazing how quickly he covers both ends of this 94-foot court. Oh, and the feed again for two to Pat Graham.
That's just outstanding hustle. What a nice, quick player. The kid got back defensively, came up with the basketball, pushed it back up, and made a real nice play coming back offensively.
The AAUs have a 5-point lead. And the rebound to Lawson. They break it out quickly. Look out, Mr. Speedster on his way. Slows it up. Richardson. Lawson outside. No. And goes for the ball and gets a shoulder. 1st and 10, and I think Shengelia felt the brunt of that one, but Lawson draws his first foul.
Yeah, he took a shot probably he wasn't real happy with. Probably wasn't the best thing for him to do. Probably a little frustration, Chuck, going after the basketball and came over the back for the foul.
Well, Damon Bailey is in the lineup, number 24, and number 34, Lawrence Thunderbird. They call him Sir Lawrence already.
Boy, I'll tell you, he's an outstanding player. I think he's going to excite a lot of people down here for the next 4 years.
Now, let's see what the adjustment does as Scott May with a 5-point lead now looks at his bench. Karnashovas from outside. It won't fall. Rebound to the Soviets. That's number 9 pulling it away. Leonard, block shot. Boy, I'll tell you, with Thunderbird and Montross underneath there, that's an intimidating factor in itself. They call the foul on Okunski, and here it is.
Boy, that's outstanding. Them two big guys in there, they sure look good together, Chuck.
Boy, I'll tell you, they just take up room, don't they?
They certainly do.
Look at it from this floor angle. There's Montross high. Waits until the ball's off the fingertips. Look who's there. Montross gets a hand on it. And then, or rather, Thunderbird gets a hand, and then Montross is foul.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about Damon Bailey. I had an opportunity to see him practice yesterday also for the first time. And I'll tell you one thing, if this ball game gets down to a last-second shot, I want the ball in his hands. He probably makes as well a court decisions for a junior in high school as I think I've ever seen.
Montross hitting both on the 1-1. It's now a 7-point lead, 17-10, and we still have 14 minutes to play. Look at Bailey right on the shoulder of Karasov, and the fans really enjoy it. Tries to make the move and does draw the foul. That's going to be on Montross, however. Funderburk facing up on him all the way.
Yeah. Well, Chuck, I think that's his area where Eric should let that guy shoot that shot, because he shot that same shot 3 times tonight, and he really hasn't come close any time he shot it. So this guy looks to shoot that shot. It's not a good shot for him, so let him shoot that particular shot.
Alan Henderson, number 44, and Pat Knight, number 25, in for the AAUs. And the first by Shengelia is good.
Chuck, this Shengelia is built like a horse. I thought I was big, but boy, is he big. He's got a set of legs on him.
Shengelia averaging 20 points per game through their first 2, and this is an 11-game tour for the Russians. They have lost their first 2. They lost to New York, the New York AAUs, 88-79, and then to Iowa, 98-87. No basket. No basket. That's an alley-oop.
Right.
And it will not be allowed. It's an alley-oop.
Well, there's no.
The fans like it, whether they allow it or not. The fans like it.
Well,
the hookup between Chris Reynolds and, oh man, Lawrence Funderburk.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was certainly exciting. Of course, there was no alley-oops in the international ball, but it was certainly worth watching.
And now the Russians wisely lay the ball down at midcourt. And it gives them plenty of time to get back defensively. Damon Bailey handling the ball in the to Funderburk. It's off the glass, no good.
That was Henderson, Chuck.
That's right. I'm sorry, that was Henderson. You're right, Henderson. You know, you look at the two, 44 and 34. They're side by side now, very, very similar.
Similar builds. They could easily be mistaken. I can understand that.
All right, here we go. 17-12. We have just inside 14 minutes. Pat Knight. That's Funderburk on the feet underneath. And Henderson's fouled. He'll go to the line.
That was a real nice pass by Lawrence, Chuck. This kid Henderson's only in Southmore High School. He's another kid who I think has a bright future. He seems to play intelligently. I think he probably needs to fill out and put on a little bit more weight, but I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
The foul was on Okunski, his third, as Henderson is at the line to shoot 2.
Chuck, we really haven't seen many substitutions from the Soviets.
They commented earlier, George, that they were a team that was suffering from fatigue. And that does surprise me as well. Bringing it up is Karnashovas, and he tries to take it all the way. Fans want another travel call. There's Shengelia, stolen by Bailey. Here they come. It's a 2-on-2. Bailey to the glass. And a foul. And that is against Karasov, his second. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut salutes the fine athletes of the AAU team. To get it your way, call 876-7676 for Pizza Hut delivery in Marion County, Carmel, and Greenwood. The Soviets call timeout with 13:33 remaining in the first half. It's the AAU's 18, the Soviets 12.
That's Hank on the new wheel horse.
Our old one lasted over 15 years.
Uh-huh.
And here's me clearing leaves.
And now we're into winter with the wheel horse in the snow.
Oh, and there we are, thanking the wheel horse dealer because we haven't made a payment yet.
It's freewheeling days. Buy your wheel horse tractor now and make no payments and pay no interest until the 4th of July.
Those were great. Can we see them again? Come on.
See Lewis Brothers and Young Hardware.
Go ahead. Grill him.
Where'd you get the steak? Didn't go to Marsh.
You'll find the best selection of meat for barbecues at Marsh, like thick, juicy steaks and plump grade A chicken.
It's a good thing Mom went to Marsh. Yeah.
Very well done.
You value family cookouts,
Actually, it's medium rare.
and we value you.
Your local Chevy dealers have 3 must-see Chevys just right for Central Indiana, priced hundreds, even thousands less than the competition. Choose Chevy Corsica with $1,000 cash back and save up to $2,200. Berettas with $1,000 cash back and save up to $2,400. Or choose Cavalier and save up to $1,100. About the only thing lower than our prices is our financing, as low as 4.9 on these 3 you must see at your local Chevy dealer. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
Well, the foul was on Karasev, his second, and that puts Damon Bailey at the line. Just highly touted nationally. Junior from Bedford North Lawrence misses the first of a 2-shot opportunity. And he, of course, has predicted to Indiana as a junior, so he'll play out his last year at Bedford North Lawrence. And had a chance to talk to him the other day and wished him well. Thunderbird playing games with the Soviets over on the side as Bailey hits the first free throw. Substitution, Petanov in the Russian lineup. He's number 15. Shengelia. Karasev, and that comes all the way out to Leonov. Under to Shengelia, and well below the rim. Thunderbird off with the ball to Pat Knight. Knight gets it back, but a little hand dribble there by Lawrence Thunderbird, and I think he was fouled.
Yeah, he was fouled, Chuck. He just mishandled a little bit, but he had real good intentions. That was a real nice play there by Patrick Knight. Good pass. I understand, Chuck, that the Soviets have only been working out as a group for 60 days prior to this tour, and it's certainly showing. They don't seem to be playing with any kind of a rhythm at all out there.
Yeah, the Hoosier contingent having difficulty at the line here the last couple of times. Henderson went up to the ball. It was deflected away, and the AAUs will toss it in. This will be Pat Knight on the nearest side. Where's number 25? Pat is going to prep school next year. He's going to forego his first step to college in order to gain some maturity. And Thunderbird off the rim, no good. Rebound comes off to Karnashovas. And they like to dribble the ball. Outside for 3. That will not go. Tipped away by Bailey and chased down by Bailey. This is Todd Leary over to Knight. Knight for 2. No good. And a struggle for the ball. Petanov down inside, and the foul will go against number 44, Alan Henderson.
That was just a little push in the back. That was good effort, though. He was going after the basketball. I think you can accept fouls from guys who are aggressive and actively pursuing the basketball.
George, what do you see pluses and minuses in all-star games such as this?
Well, I think the plus is that you'll get to see a lot of the natural ability of these kids. The minuses are that I think it's pretty tough to play great team ball because these guys haven't been together that long, but I think you can see the individual things that each one of these kids can do.
That's a goaltending call. Watch this. The ball is not on the rim. If it's downward flight, it cannot be touched. Up hard to the basket. Thunderbird counters and draws the foul. Let's take a look at this. Watch Thunderbird's move here. Boy, he really powers it in. He needs to gain weight, but I tell you, he uses what he has.
Oh, he really does, and he's a real strong kid, Chuck. I think, as I said earlier, the people and the fans of Indiana are going to be in for a real treat. This guy is a real special player. He's outstanding.
Lawrence Thunderbird goes to Worley High School. If just checking to see, apparently no call, so they're stopping the clock for a moment. I thought there might be a substitution, but none. We have 12 minutes 12 seconds remaining. Knocked away. Boy, here he comes. Look at the stride. Won't fall. And the Soviets back quickly on the board. There's a good pass. Petanov. And there's going to be a foul. That will go against Henderson. His second. And that's the 5th against the team. Good look at Allen. Let's take a look at it again on the transition. Petanov, George, makes a pretty good move right there.
Yeah, he does, and looks like Henderson just came with a good hustle play, came from behind and caught him. As I said, the Soviets seem just to be slow on foot speed, Chuck. That's something that I guess it's either God-given, you have it or you don't, but they don't seem to have it.
Give that basket to Yuri Lenov. Funderburk with a little contact there, incidental. They don't call it. Here's the drive. Up to the glass, and the follow. Very strong, yes, by Karnashevich. The Soviets working their way back into the game, 22-18. Todd Leary. Oh, there's the alley. And 2. That just opened right up.
Real nice find. This kid here is an outstanding player, great shooter, great competitor. I think he's really an underrated player, Chuck.
3 on the way. That's an air ball, and Pat Knight very wisely lets it go. Substitution, Tony McGee. Number 5, senior, 6'5". He's going next year to Michigan to play football.
Yeah, that's right. And he's big enough to do that, Chuck.
Yeah, we don't argue with him.
Yeah.
Damon Bailey, Pat Knight. Knight goes through. Bailey working on top as Funderburk lets 2 go.
I think this kid he's great inside. He's great outside. He has really got great potential. He's going to be really an outstanding player.
Karasev with 10:45 remaining. The Soviets now firing from outside. They're an outside shooting team. And if they do get on out there, then look out. They can close it up. Here's Bailey, top of the key, little stutter. Drops it off to Funderburk. Left hands it up, tipped in. Give that to McGee. Tony McGee.
Tony takes up a lot of room inside there.
Offensive foul. Look who's waiting at the other end. Lawrence Funderburk.
Yeah.
And he just sacrifices right here.
That's really nice to see, Chuck, from a guy that age, because I think one thing you find out is when you're a player, especially a young one, that the people appreciate the nice hustle and defensive plays as well as they do the offensive ones.
Good drop across the baseline to McGee, right back to Funderburk. They get a little game going. Bailey with a great save and a pass. McGee. Leary. And that's good by McGee. Petanov stops across the line and waits and looks. The Russians, I agree with you, George. I just don't think they have the stamina for this fast a game.
Right, and this is only their 3rd game on this particular tour. And if they're tired now, I'd hate to see what they're going to be like here in another week or so.
Funderburk. Leary from outside. Oh, he just felt that one. Todd Leary with his 2nd field goal. It's 32-18, a 14-point lead. And now an official's timeout. They will do this in international play. We have a substitution. Number 4, Kolomaya. Gert Kolomaya, 6'5", from Tallinn, Estonia, is in the lineup. There's Scotty.
And Okunski's back in, Chuck, number 10.
Okunski, pretty good size. 7 feet, from Donetsk, Russia.
I'm glad you said that.
Well, it was hard, and I may not have been right. All right, the Soviets are down by 14 with 9:13 remaining. Up to the glass, no good. Tipped away. McGee fights it out. Off to Bailey. Under to Funderburk for 2. Lawrence Funderburk just takes advantage of every opportunity. There's a foul across the wrist.
Chuck, how tall is Lawrence listed at?
Well, they list him at 6'8".
I think he might be a little bit taller than 6'8".
Here it is. Here's the drive. There's the pass. He just steps up once, gets good position, and rams it home.
Yeah.
Todd Leary's first foul, the 6th against the team. So the Hoosier AAUs have one more to give away before they will put the Soviets at the line. And thinking less of cutting through the middle, up and off the glass, give that to Kolomaya. Bailey looks things over, goes to Leary, down to Funderburk. Spin move down along the baseline, tries to angle it up. Outside is Leary for three.
Well, this Leary can shoot it.
Gets it off quickly, doesn't he?
He really does. He's going to fit well in the scheme of things down here at Indiana, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're crashing the boards now, doing a much better job.
And that was Grayson. That was a real nice good offensive rebound by Grayson.
Funderburk tries to go through the middle, draws the foul.
Chuck, I think right now Lawrence is pressing. He's trying to do too much. I think he's just got to kind of get in the flow and let it happen. The last two times down the court, he took a couple shots that really were forced. I think he'll find that if he just lets the ball come to him, it'll be much easier and much more simple for him to score.
Montross back in for Knight. Eric, for a junior, George, a great physical build beginning.
He really does. And surprisingly, he has great coordination for a kid that young and that big.
And that's going to be a block, and that goes against Damon Bailey. This is a very partisan house. Many of these fans, pardon me, many of these fans from the Bedford North Lawrence area. Bailey is a native of Heltonville, Indiana. And we're going to see, I believe, an official timeout. Lawson back in for the AAUs. 7:59, just a tick under 8 remaining, and it's the AAUs 37, the Soviets 22.
Something very exciting is going on here. It's an innovative service from GTE that allows us to test your phone lines, look for problems, and fix them without ever disturbing you. You see, at GTE, it's not just communications we offer, it's solutions.
Fill it up. Ultra.
From Sunoco comes the highest octane unleaded gasoline ever. Sunoco Ultra 94. Only one can be the highest octane under the sun. It's Ultra 94, and it's only from Sunoco.
Ultra gasoline and other Sun products are available at your Central Indiana Sunoco distributor, Little Champ Oil Company, Columbus and Indianapolis, Indiana.
This is it, kid. The highest hill, the toughest customer, and the most abundant pizza in the business. Not like those skimpy pizzas you used to deliver. You're at Pizza Hut now. This baby is loaded. You're telling me.
Oh, hello, Albert.
Your pizza, sir.
See you tomorrow, rookie.
The most abundant pizzas. No one delivers what Pizza Hut can. Call Pizza Hut Delivery and get a medium meat lovers pizza delivered for $8.99 or 2 for $12.99.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
We have a steal on the inbounds and the slam dunk by Damon Bailey. We had the Soviet schedule up there for you just a moment ago, and we'll try to get back to that later on. There's a turnover as Leonov tries to take it in. Here comes Leary, drops it off inside to Montross. Hook shot, no good. Rebound knocked away and touched by Lawson, recovered by the Soviets. They break it up quickly. And an outside two. Give that to number 14.
Barbashev, Chuck. Grachev.
Well, that was close. If you folks saw how they were spelled, you wouldn't believe it. Lawson from outside. He hits. Grayson drops it outside again for Grachev. Little hand check inside. Grayson runs right into Montross. Here's Bailey. Look at that quick stutter move by Bailey. Oh, the pass knocked away. Montross really grappling for the ball. Goes to the glass, no good. Boy, I'll tell you, these kids are really playing hard. Leonov for two.
Boy, back at the other end, Chuck, that was just a great pass by Damon Bailey, almost a la Larry Bird. The kid from the Soviet Union, Grachev, Chuck, he's an outstanding three-point shooter. That's a player we can keep an eye on.
Knocked away. It'll be AAU ball. substitution for the Soviets, Karnashovas, is back in. He has but 2 points, averages 19 on this current tour that they're on. It's an 11-game tour. We'll give you a chance here. There you are. There you can see some of the games coming up. They leave from here, go to San Diego, and then May 22nd finish up in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Leary from the top of the key, no good. 3-point range, and a foul is going to go against the AAU.
Yeah, again, there, Chris, just over the back.
Personal foul, Indiana, number 31, Chris Lawson.
Well, they call the foul on Lawson. That's his second. Now, we've talked so much about where these kids are going. There's several of these young men on the AAU team that will be going to Indiana. And one player you will not be able to see tonight, as the free throw is missed and pulled down by Lawson, is
Cheaney.
Cheaney, right. Evansville Harrison, he's coming to IU, but he still has that foot fracture, the 5th metatarsal. That's such a vulnerable bone, Mac. And
yeah, it really is, Chuck. And just for one game like this, it really isn't worth it. I think the kid just needs a couple more weeks off.
There he is.
And yeah, there's Calbert, and a couple more weeks off, and he'll be fine, though. I understand he's an outstanding player, and I was really looking forward to seeing him play.
Move inside by Sergei Grezin for his second field goal, and it's down to a 13-point lead, 41-28. Inside to Montross, can't get it to fall, but he's fouled.
You know, for a guy this big, Chuck, Montross has great hands. I noticed one thing when I saw him play in the state championship final, how he gets a rebound and he keeps the ball up in the air and he outlets it. The best player I ever seen it doing that was Wes Unseld with the Washington Bullets. This kid has great possibility. That's really someone's taught him real well because he keeps the ball up in the air, and because bringing it down gets you in trouble.
Okay, that's Tyrone Morris. Went to Bloomington North High School along with Pat Knight. At number 12, Matt Painter. Great talent from Muncie Delta, who is headed for Purdue. Great find up there by Gene Cady. Montross with the free throw. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Wheel Horse Lawn and Garden Tractors. Wheel Horse power works for you. Second won't fall. Pulled down by Grezin. 5 minutes, 38 seconds remaining. Here's the steal. Larry, he's got Bailey on the wing for 2.
Nice play, Chuck. Nice defensive hustle. Nice unselfish basketball. Larry to Bailey.
Now the All-Stars will put on a little pressure. I think they recognize now there's a bit of superior ball handling, at least for the moment. The Russians like to make the European pass, the one-handed dribble and pass.
Right, and they make a lot of passes being in the air, Chuck, which is not good fundamental basketball.
Good position by Montross. Lead up court to Morris. Holds it up to Painter. Good pass. Back to Bailey for 2. Oh, yeah. 46-28. It was down to 13. Now back to an 18-point.
That was a real nice play by the Americans. Good unselfish teamwork. Nice shot by Damon.
Grezin. Oh, that's...
For some reason, Chuck, the Soviets all look like they travel before they shoot. Every one of them.
Well, now, you played enough in the NBA to know that there's an extra step allowed there. Maybe they allow it in
maybe that's it.
National play. Oh, here's a 2-on-1. Let's see what Morris can do with this. Good defense.
Oh, nice play, Leonoff.
They call him a block, and that was a good drive. Leonoff with the 2, and he'll go to the line. Look at it again. And I don't think Tyrone really was in position.
No, it looked like he was still moving there a little bit, Chuck. That was a nice play by the Soviets, taking the ball to the hoop. I think anytime you take the ball to the hoop, it's not all bad because most of the times you're going to get fouled or get the hoop.
George, you had such an illustrious career. Played 1 year down here. Unfortunately, it could have been 2 years, but that was before the freshman rule.
Right.
And then went on, of course, to play for the Pacers in the ABA and Philadelphia and the Pacers in the NBA. And I tell you, it's just such a great pleasure. You and I have known each other since high school days, but what a marvelous opportunity it is to be able to sit up here and work with you.
Well, thank you, Chuck. I certainly feel the same way.
Here's Painter in the corner. Painter and Bailey. And some action through the lane. Leary steps up, steps back, and won't fall. Look at Bailey crash the boards. At 6'3", is such a great leaper. Here's a drive. Good delay. A fall away. Oh, good basket by Grazine.
Grazine looks like he has a pretty good stroke, Chuck.
46-35. Grazine with 9 points now. 3 minutes, 42 seconds, 3:40. Clock is ticking away.
Soviets that went to the zone defense, I think this really gives them a lot of help because they don't have to move their feet as much in the zone as opposed to the man-to-man.
Morris feeds it back outside to Painter for three. Yes.
This Painter kid's an outstanding shooter, of course, as you said earlier, going to Purdue University, and he's going to be quite a player for Gene Cady up there.
Shengelia. And they work it around. Karnisovas. Look at Leary feed it under. Back outside to Painter to Bailey.
Oh, great play. Looked like them guys been playing together for a few years, didn't it, on that play, Chuck?
It certainly does. 51-35. And that's off the rim, no good. Boy, look at Bailey sky up. Drops it back to Morris. Morris had driven under. Was following Bailey, thinking he was going to the board, and he's going to try to rebound
that. Time he should have pulled up and made the play as opposed to taking it all the way in there, Chuck.
Good drive by Arturas Karnisovas at the 2:20 mark in the first half. Oh, what a feed. Painter misses. Montross right there for two, and he's fouled.
Oh,
Count the basket.
Outstanding play by Eric. Again, Chuck, as I said earlier, he never brought the ball down, and that's a great quality for a big man. Here we can see it again on the replay. He fights for position, goes up, gets the ball, never brings it down, never puts the ball on the floor. This kid's got a great future ahead of him.
Couple of substitutions. Number 23, Brian Blackwell, in the lineup. And also Greg Graham. Our first chance to see Greg tonight, too. Greg wearing number 22. Montross hits the free throw. We have an official timeout with 2 minutes, 8 seconds remaining. The Indiana AAU All-Stars 54 and the visiting Soviet Nationals 37.
Looking for a little pickup with a lot of pickup? Then take a look at Chevy S10 from your local Chevy dealer. With a 4.3-liter V6 engine, it's far more powerful than Ford Ranger's best 2.9. S10 has a bigger maximum payload rating and a longer, wider box to carry more than Ranger. And now during Chevy Truck Month, get low 2.9 financing or up to $750 cash back. Chevy Truck Month going on now at your local Chevy dealer. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
Super Savings Sale is going on now at the Finish Line. Men's and women's Nike and Asics gel running shoes up to 30% off. Where? At the Finish Line. Super Savings Sale now has kids' Nike baseball shoes only $9.99. Kids' Nike basketball shoes over 40% off. College theme shirts only $5.99. Ocean Pacific and Hobie t-shirts only $9.99. The right shoe at the right price at the Finish Line Super Savings Sale.
Electric living. In the last 5 years, 60% of all new homes built here have been totally electric. It's more than a trend. It's the future.
Time back in. We have 2 minutes, 3 seconds remaining in the first half of play. The Soviets with the ball, and they're down 54-37. Leonid drops it off. It's short, pulled away by Painter. Painter finds room and goes to the basket. Matt Painter. loose ball over in the corner. Tonight, immediately following this game on the 10 o'clock news, the latest on the U.S.-Panama situation and reactions to what some Hoosiers think about the president's action, and also some Indy 500. Danny Sullivan hit the wall tonight. I think you fans will want to hear the latest on that. Here's an offensive foul called on Shengelia. Moving for position underneath. You can see the fatigue, really, George.
Yeah, I think now you see that these American kids are really slowly taking over the ball game. They're just out quicking them. They're basically beating the Soviets in every department. And as I said earlier, these guys, if they're tired now, with a look at their schedule here in the next week or so, they're going to really be something to look at.
You know, George mentioning fatigue, I think to a well-conditioned athlete, and this is not to imply the Russians are not. Please, you know, I don't want anyone to get that idea.
Right.
I think we, what do we have? We have a foul here. Foul on Montross. That's a little subtle one, but that's his second. Let's return to what we were talking about. I think to a well-conditioned athlete, you, for instance, when you were playing out there, you could recognize with whom you were matched up and tell whether or not he was fatigued. You could see that, and you would take advantage of things like that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. And I think sometimes, Chuck, fatigue could be as much mental as it can be physical. And I think with these guys complaining about their schedule and things of that nature, that certainly doesn't help from a mental point of view.
They go to Leonov quite a bit. You can see he's their ball handler, and Montross has the ball stripped out of his hand, and we have a technical foul called against the Russians. That'll go against Petanov. So he's not only called for the foul, but he's called for a tee. Let's take a look at it. All right, now watch Montross. Here's Leonov on the drive. Misses the shot. Montross goes up.
Oh.
There's the foul reaching over the wrist.
Yeah, he thought he made a good play there, Chuck, but he did reach in. Of course, Eric got fouled the first time with the kid flying over his back, so it was a good call.
All right, so there's a technical foul. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Sunoco, the home of ultra gasoline, the highest octane gasoline under the sun. Montross with 1-1.
Boy, this kid's going to be an outstanding player for somebody, wherever he decides to go to college. He's got all the tools.
Well, he's just, yeah, you mentioned all the tools, and it's so important. Now, there's a technical foul there, so that the rebound will not count. The second one was missed. All the tools, he has the mental tool as well,
That's
too.
Exactly
He's a very
right.
intelligent young man.
Yeah.
And I think this is the thing that most college coaches now are beginning to recognize, that Proposition 42, with all its difficulties and with all its arguments, if it is properly implemented, is going to achieve the right thing.
I agree with that.
Now that last part is what qualifies it, if it is properly implemented.
Right.
And I think young boys, young athletes have to learn in the grade school level that they have to study if they're going to be able to play ball.
Yeah, that's part of the program, Chuck.
On the technical foul, and the second is good. So Montross with 11 points in the minute 19 remaining in the first half of play, and the Soviets find themselves down by 19. 58, I'm sorry, by 21, 58-37. That is good. Number 6, Grezin, outside. There was no goaltending on that. Blackwell. Blackwell is listed as an alternate. He is playing because Calbert Cheaney cannot play. Cheaney with the injured foot. Blackwell to the glass. Oh, that was in the well and out. Drops it off. Montross. I'll tell you, he almost out-positioned himself, but his flexibility put it in.
He really did. But he recovered and made a great move.
31 seconds. Outside Leonov. Oh, that is major league distance.
That's an NBA three-pointer there.
Leonov. That's his second three. Well, we mentioned that there was a shot clock. It has not come into play at all in this game. This has been a very fast-moving game. Over the shoulder and blocked away by Grezin with 4 seconds.
pretty interesting watching a ball game with the officials not involved as much as we're used to seeing, Chuck.
And that's pretty typical of international rules.
Yeah.
Blackwell for three. No, won't go. Buzzer will sound as Painter gets off a wild shot. And we have come to the end of the first 20 minutes of action with the score. The AAU All-Stars 60 and the Soviet Junior Nationals 42. We'll be back with halftime in a minute.
15 minutes now.
Where there's hope, there's a fire. Feel the burning of your desire.
Lift you rise above the crowd. Makes you want to shout out loud.
It's the feeling of success.
All your plans,
All your dreams.
they can happen, so it seems.
It's the feeling deep inside.
There's a passion you can't hide.
It's the feeling of success.
At IND, we know the feeling.
The feeling of success.
When you feed it outdoor, you get attention galore. We'll show you everything that you want to see. We know just what to do. We'll make it fun for you when you buy from Stouts RVs.
Experienced pros, the finest brands, and dependable service. Come to Stouts. We're not only dependable, we're fun.
After the sale is done,
Stouts RVs.
service is number one.
Ooh, I'd like to tame your shrew.
Rodney Dangerfield
That's what I call marine biology.
is going back to school.
Monday night at 8 on TTV4.
Okay, you're back once again at halftime. Assembly Hall, there's the score. The Indiana AAUs by 18, 60-42. You know, a lot of you folks would like to know what these young men are like, and we sort of thought maybe you would. So we stopped down at a couple of practices the last 2 weeks and talked to the players, and basically we asked them each the same thing. We wanted to get their feeling about playing together and also about the opportunity to play against the Soviets, and here were their reactions.
You know, a great experience just to come up here and play with great players, and you know, the only thing I'm trying to get out of it is just working hard and trying to become a better player.
I feel that what I need to do is I need to control the boards, and when I get the ball inside, if they're calling on me to score, I need to be able to score. If I don't score, I need to be able to put it out where the outside people can score.
It's very exciting. I mean, everyone told me just keep playing everything, don't worry about your scholarship, and I guess they're all right. I mean, everything came through at the same time. All the things happened in about a month's period, and these games in the summer are they're just basically fun games, but we're out here to work hard and we're going to win.
I still love the game of basketball. Last year I didn't really get tired of it. My knees were just giving me a lot of problems, and I had to, you know, hang the shoes up for summer. But, you know, I'm ready to go now. I really enjoy playing the game. I enjoy the kids I'm playing with, and, you know, that's just the most important part of the game is, you know, having fun, and I do.
I think the key to games is how well we all play together. Because, like, a lot of times you get an AAU situation, everyone wants to score and stuff. But this team, we got kids like myself that will become role players and get to the people that can score. And that's what everyone's so good at. They know their role on this team.
Oh, it would definitely be hard to give up basketball, but I guess I plan on playing some intramurals, and I mean, who knows, maybe in the future someday I may be in a Michigan jersey playing hoops for them. But right now I really plan on concentrating on football after the All-Stars is over this summer.
Competing against another country, you know, Russians, I guess they're second in the world to us in basketball. You know, they beat us this past year in the Olympics. But I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to play against them. To play against the Russians and represent the state of Indiana and AAU, that's something you don't get a chance to do because of the organized leagues you got normally during the season. In this sense, we can play and keep playing and stuff, and the international rules, which is different, just gives you a whole different variety of how to play.
Well, playing against the Russians means that, you know, it's a fun, you know, exciting exhibition game that I'm looking forward to. You know, it's kind of like competing against, you know, other countries, and I'm looking forward to it.
And it's very disappointing for me not to play, but that's how life is, I guess, and unfortunately it happened to me. But I waited a couple of months, and I guess I can wait 3 more weeks, or even longer than that. It's more important for me to play for IU than to play, you know, over the summer.
Into the halftime, about 5 minutes in, 10 minutes to go, and the score, the AAU 60 and the visiting Soviet Nationals 42.
Sir, this is one of the few businesses that doesn't advertise in the GTE everything pages. Why is that?
Well, this is Mom's restaurant, and this is Mom. She's a great cook. But if I advertised in the book people actually use, this place would be packed. I don't think either one of us wants that on our conscience, do we?
Businesses that want to be successful advertise in the GTE everything pages. Those that don't.
Nothing's too good for my baby. Nothing. So my baby gets very special treatment.
Treat your baby to the gasoline with special detergency that protects the entire intake system.
Fill it up. Ultra.
Sunoco Ultra 94. Clean power from the highest octane under the sun. Nothing else can match it.
Nothing.
Weekend excitement begins on TTV4. Friday night, Clint Eastwood stars in High Plains Drifter.
What did you say your name was again?
I didn't. Saturday night, when there's a fire in the hole, John Wayne battles the blazes in Hellfighters. And Sunday night, Yul Brynner leads the rescue with the return of the Seven. Look for the stars this weekend on TTV4, the new Channel 4.
60-42, the AAU All-Stars holding that 18-point lead. I want to pat a man on the back that I think has done an exceptionally fine job. I say a man because I can remember when he was just a young man running around here on the coattails of his dad, Bob Knight. This is Tim Knight, who has been the game coordinator. You put all this together, Tim. You've got 13,000 people in here tonight. You are to be congratulated.
Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that. I've had a lot of help in doing this, and it's been something we've been working on since about January. And we've had most of these kids for the past 2 years in the summer, and we picked up 4 new ones. We've had 12 of them the past 2 years and picked up 4 new ones for this game. And unfortunately, Calbert Cheaney is hurt, so that he would be one of the 4 that we picked up. But it's been something that's been going on for the last 2 years.
Well, now that's the part that I want to talk to you about. You just came out of a state championship last week. You beat the Tisdale All-Stars, and this qualifies you for the Nationals. You have a choice now of either going to one or the other, a tournament in Fort Lauderdale, I believe, or also a tournament in San Antonio, and I understand you're going to try to make them both.
We are going to make them both. We're going to go to Jacksonville July 10th through the 14th, and San Antonio August 6th through the 12th. And in the meantime, we're going to play some games throughout the state of Indiana to get ready for those tournaments in such cities as Fort Wayne, at Floyd Central, Evansville, Lawrence North, and Bedford. And we'll be playing those in June and July around the Indiana High School All-Star Series.
Well, then the folks will have plenty of an opportunity to hear about this and to see the players, right?
If some of the people missed this game in person, they have a chance to come see us play throughout the state this summer.
Tell me something. 13,000 people here. That's pretty good revenue off this game. Where do the monies go for this?
The money will go to the Bloomington Boys Club and Landon Turner's team, who is, I don't know if the TV's showing it, but most of his team is in attendance tonight. And to finance our summer, as you know, it'll be expensive for us to go to 2 national tournaments, but that's where the monies will go.
Well, again, you know, and I'm not a backslapper to say, you know, in the vernacular, but I do laud you for what you have done. This is just a marvelous job. It has to be a dream come true.
It is. I didn't expect about this. I'd heard about the Soviet Games before, but when the AAU approached me in January about it, I said I'd love to do it. And tonight's attendance is the largest attendance they've played in the past 3 years on their tour.
Yeah, they had 3,000 in New York the other night and thought that was good.
That's right, and they had 2,000 in Des Moines, Iowa last night, so we might outdraw the other 10 games in one game tonight.
Pat. Oh, no, Tim. I've got 25 on my mind out here. I've been watching him. Thank you very, very much. And again, congratulations on a fine job.
I'd like to thank you and TTV4.
Okay, thanks very much. The game coordinator, I tell you, this boy has worked awfully, awfully hard. 60-42 is the score, and we will return with more in just a minute.
This is it, kid. The highest hill, the toughest customer, and the most abundant pizza in the business. Not like those skimpy pizzas you used to deliver. You're at Pizza Hut now. This baby's loaded. You're telling me.
Oh, a new one, Albert.
Your pizza, sir.
See you tomorrow, rookie.
The most abundant pizzas. No one delivers what Pizza Hut can.
Call Pizza Hut Delivery and get a medium meat lovers pizza delivered for $8.99 or 2 for $12.99.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
That's Hank on the new wheel horse.
Our old one lasted over 15 years.
Uh-huh.
And here's me clearing leaves.
And now we're into winter with the wheel horse in the snow.
There we are picking up our wheel horse, and we didn't need a down payment.
It's Wheel Horse freewheeling days. No money down and easy monthly payments when you save on a Wheel Horse tractor.
Those were great. Can we see them again? Come on.
Available at Corner Hardware of Greenfield, Indiana.
Why did I buy a Chevy Cavalier? Well, I looked at Ford Escorts and Hyundai XLs, and they were much too small. Toyota, Honda? Well, you know the price of Japanese cars. Now, here's the car, a Chevy Cavalier, with a new 3-year, 50,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty that Ford and Hyundai don't even offer. I've compared quality and price. Cavalier's the car.
And now get 2.9 financing or up to $600 factory cash back at your local Chevy dealers.
There's the score, 60-42. The AAU's holding the lead. And we have some highlights of the first half. It has been virtually all highlight. Watch this. Todd Leary with the ball. Now watch what he does. Good move, finds the alley, dishes it up to his left hand and off the glass for 2. Lawrence Funderburg saw some action in the first half. Look at Bailey on the feet, and Funderburg goes in hard for the slam. Here's a Bailey Painter hookup. Now watch this. There we go. Well, that was Leary. Bailey hook up, and then here's Damon all by himself from Painter. It shows how well the boys have worked the ball inside. They've done an excellent job. There's good team play, and George has stepped away to talk to his old coach Scott May for a second, but I think one of the important things to me is the fact that this team has been able to put itself together and play a good sound court game. There's some individual talent out there. And nonetheless, however, they have played well as a team. There's Matt Painter. Good look at him. He's going to Purdue, as we mentioned, from Delta High School in Muncie, Indiana. Chris Reynolds, who played early in the first half, trying to loosen up just a little bit. While we have the second, let me again remind you that tonight on the 10 o'clock news, meteorologist Jeff Lazalier will check on the weekend weather and the outlook for qualifying day. And I do want to call your attention again to the Panama situation and some Hoosier reactions on the president's action as well. You can catch all this tonight immediately following our game from Assembly Hall. 10 o'clock news. Okay, we will be set to get the second half underway in just a minute. Excellent crowd on hand, as we mentioned. We don't have an official attendance, but it is right at the 13,000 mark, and we'll be back to start and run the second half action for you in just a minute.
At Chi-Chi's, we tried to top up burros and enchiladas, but couldn't. So we stuffed them, Chajita style, with juicy charbroiled steak or tender chicken. Now inside our special burro and enchilada. Chi-Chi's new Chajita-style combo. Hey, if you can't top them, stuff them.
Chi-Chi's, a celebration of food.
When Quad Graphics, one of the nation's fastest-growing printers, needed a communication system that could expand quickly, they chose Ameritech, the information company that custom-designed a system for voice, data, and ultimately video, a system that could keep up with Quad Graphics' 50% annual growth. Because when your business grows like that, your communication system must press forward. Ameritech, solutions that work.
There's still a lot of people with a lot of misunderstandings about introduction services, even today. And we still get calls from people who think we'll get them an escort or a date for the evening, and that's just not us. Thank goodness, committed, honest relationships have not gone out of style. There really are people out there who still believe in a solid, loving relationship, and we only accept people with that kind of commitment. They really are out there. They're just having a hard time finding each other. And that's where we come in. That's our job.
Ooh, I'd like to tame your shrew.
Rodney Dangerfield
That's what I call marine biology.
is going back to school.
Monday night at 8 on TTV4.
Unofficially, here is the scoring in the first half for the Soviet Nationals. Shengelia had 4, Karnashovas 4, Okunsky 2, Karasev 3. Their leading scorer was Leonov. He's their 6'4" guard. He had 12, averages 8.5 through the first 2 games. And Grezin had 11. Kolomaya had a field goal. Grachev had a field goal. And Petanov also 2. Leading scorer for the Indiana AAU's Eric Montross with 13. Damon Bailey had 9, Pat Graham 8. And then scoring fell off quickly. Todd Leary with 6. Also 6 to Lawrence Funderburk. Tony McGee had 4. Lawson had 4. Reynolds had 2. Pat Graham, as I said, had 8. And Matt Painter had 5. George McGinnis has joined me once again up here at the microphone, and we're going to be set to get things underway. Impressions, George, on the first half, if you will. What did impress you about the play on both sides?
Well, from the American side, I thought they played very hard, played good defense. They played unselfish. But we also got a chance to look at some of the individual ability out there, which is abundant. The Soviets, on the other hand, they played very lethargic, and they seem to be two steps slow. So if they don't improve their play, we can look for a big blowout here, Chuck.
Well, I hesitated before I threw it for a commercial a minute ago to say we'll be back with the action in a minute, because I'd forgotten in the international rules they tip it up twice. You tip it up first and at the end of the first half and the second half. There's no alternate possession. So we're going to go through that tipping procedure again, and Funderburk easily controls, but it's taken away. And a drive to the basket and a dish and up high off the glass. Grezin starts the second half with a field goal.
I think Grezin was surprised he made that one.
Now let's watch Indiana action. Henderson with his first. He had a free throw in the first half. Look at this, the steal. Look at Reynolds. That's Greg Graham. Underneath the Funderburk, knocked away. That's legal. Up they come, Kulamaya from outside. Oh, my. If they start lighting it up from out there.
Kulamaya's had a real nice evening. He is shooting the ball extremely well. Soviets still in their zone defense. Great ball movement.
And going to the basket is Henderson. He is fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Here, Chuck, we'll see great ball movement by the American team. There it is into Lawrence, and of course he gives it back out to Damon. Back into Henderson from Damon for a nice pass, takes it to the hoop for the foul.
Foul was on Karnashovas, his third, putting Henderson at the line. This is the first. Your friendly INB banking centers are conveniently located throughout Indiana. So when you want the best banking services available, look for the familiar INB Bison. Henderson hits the second. And has 4. Boy, Bailey comes from out of nowhere, almost gets the steal. Karnashovas knocked away. Funderburk, and good hustle and dive after the ball. Now the official called it one way, then reversed the call.
Oh,
off the glass. Graham has it blocked, and Shengelia comes out with the ball, and Bailey over to step across that long passing lane, deflected out of bounds.
The thing I like about Damon Bailey, boy, he gives you 100% at all times. For every minute he's on the court, he plays all out.
Look how Reynolds comes out and covers the lane. That'll go against Funderburk. Got a hand.
That was a pretty nice move by Shengelia. Nice spin move, and took it to the hoop for the foul.
And there it is. And there's the hand.
That's almost too creative for the Soviets, Chuck. That was a great move.
Shengelia will be shooting. Not a bad free throw shooter, about 60%. Some of the European teams are not known for their shooting. Now, the Russians, that was one of the things that caused them a lot of trouble in the international play in Olympic competition, but their Olympic national team is a great shooting team. Hook by Funderburk, no good, knocked away. The Russians playing with a little bit more intensity, George.
Yeah, they certainly are. They seem to come out and playing a little bit more harder. They're passing the ball extremely well.
Trying to show us. Boy, look at Bailey break it out. Oh, what a lead. It won't go, but there's a foul on the play.
Well, this Damon Bailey is really something special. Here's a kid who's been 3-time first-team All-State. He's led his team to the state finals as a freshman, and he plays so unselfish. It's just unbelievable and so wonderful to see from a young player.
That's the second foul on Leonov, and it puts Reynolds at the line to shoot 2. Yeah. Well, both sides cringing at the inability to hit the free throws. Second is good for Reynolds. That's only his 3rd point. He gets right back in the face. Look at that. Leonov had such a easy opportunity to bring it up. That's a good stop and go. The block. Here comes Reynolds. What's he going to do with it? He drives right past Leonov.
It's outstanding speed. This kid here can do it at both ends. He has just got great quickness, great speed, good hand-eye coordination.
Peoria Central High School, and he's coming to Indiana next year. Karnišovas. Boy, Greg Graham had a hand on it, and he thought he had all ball. The official thought otherwise.
Yeah, he looked like he reached in there, Chuck, and got called for the foul.
The personal foul, Indiana, number 20.
We're going to have a substitution. This is Grachev, Igor Grachev, number 14, 6'6", from Kaiboshev, Russia.
Boy, you say that well.
The General Store would like to congratulate the Bloomington 19 and unders. This AAU team, coached by Scott May, for winning the state AAU championship. This great accomplishment, of course, qualifies the team for the National AAU Tourney in Jacksonville, Florida. Alan Henderson commits the foul, his 3rd. Look at this. He thought he had ball.
Yeah, it looks like it was a real questionable play, Chuck, but anytime, I think, as I said, when you take the ball inside, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt more times than not, and that was the case here.
Leonov. Yuri is his first name. Good look at him, and misses the shot. Tipped away. Oh, Bailey's hands just went right out like glue for that ball. And to the glass for 2.
Nice play by Bailey.
68-47.
Boy, look at
on the line.
Defense. That's what I'm talking about. About every minute he's out in the court, he's plays hard. Woo! And thunderous dunk by Thunderberg.
That was Bailey to Reynolds to Thunderberg. Russians just coming up short, and actually most of their shots are short. That does indicate a fatigue.
Well, they're getting a real lesson of what basketball is all about. They're just being outclassed out there.
The foul is on Sergei Grezin. You know, Thunderberg almost came in off the wing to put that ball in.
Oh, yeah, he runs the court extremely well for a guy his size.
Bailey will take a breather. Pat Graham is back in. So we have Pat Graham 32 and Greg Graham 22. Off the rim, no good. The rebound comes off to Karasev, and the foul is going to go against Pat Graham on the drive.
Yeah, Pat just didn't get good position there and reached in and got the call for the foul.
Watch the out-of-bounds play that we had just a minute ago. Now, there's the line violation by the Soviets. Bailey steps in, takes the ball, and he goes right up court with it. There's Reynolds to Funderburk.
Great play. Great play. As I said, the Soviets just don't seem to have the foot speed to run up and down the court with the American team. And when they get into a fast breaking type game, they're going to come out in the bottom end of that.
AAU's leading by 23, 70-47. We still have 16-20 to play in the game. And Graham, it's a good leaping team. Graham at 6'5", but he does get up well. And, of course, Funderburk, he has the ball, left hands it up for three. No good. He is not shooting well, and I think maybe you touched upon something. He might be trying to do a little too much.
Yeah, I think so. I think, as I said, he needs to just kind of let the game come to him. He's forcing it a little bit now.
Well, that's Leonov. He now has 3 threes and 15 points.
I think sometime Lawrence thinks he's a guard, but I think Coach Knight will dispel that come this fall.
Boy, Chris Reynolds just counters with a 3 of his own. Talked to him the other night, asked him really what he wanted to do. He says, boy, he said, I'm just tickled to death to be playing with these guys. He said, what a team. Yeah. Look at Reynolds on the drive. Oh! Shengelia, and it was deflected. That quick whipping pass that the Soviets try to use, one-hand dribble and pass. We have a timeout, 15-20 left to play. The AAU Indiana All-Stars 75 and the Soviet Nationals 50.
The General Store in downtown Bloomington is the one-stop shop for all Indiana fans. Whether it's IU basketball, football, or soccer apparel, Indiana sports art prints, or IU memorabilia, the General Store has it. You can also choose from a full line of Adidas footwear, sweatshirts, and sweaters, including that famous one worn by the General himself. You'll see red at the General Store in downtown Bloomington on the south side of the square in the Fountain Square Mall. Or call 812-333-4242.
This is the all-new Chevy pickup from your local Chevy dealer.
Just to bring the full-size Ford up to Chevy standards, you need 15 of these because Chevy's full-size engine has a lot more horsepower than Ford. And you'd need 5 of these because the Chevy holds 5 more gallons of gas and gets up to 5 more miles out of every gallon. Oh, and you'll need one of these, too, because the Chevy handles more payload.
The automatic transmission's no charge. Save up to $16.95 at your local Chevy dealer. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
Fill it up. Ultra.
From Sunoco comes the highest octane unleaded gasoline ever. Sunoco Ultra 94. Only one can be the highest octane under the sun. It's Ultra 94, and it's only from Sunoco.
Ultra gasoline and other Sun products are available at your Central Indiana Sunoco distributor, Little Champ Oil Company, Columbus and Indianapolis, Indiana.
All right, there you see the score, 75-50. Russians with the ball. They're going to try to get something going. Leonov, he misses. It's tipped up once. And up again, no good. Up off the glass, and finally.
I guess 3 times is a charm.
Give it to Grezin. Sergei Grezin, Novosibirsk, Russia. Kicked away by the Soviets.
That was a good thought there by Chris Lawson. Really nice, good bounce pass inside to Henderson. But the Soviet player just got a hand on it and knocked it out of bounds.
Todd Leary, Pat Knight in the lineup. Chris Lawson as well underneath. And up for 2 more. That's Alan Henderson back in the lineup. Tonight's game brought to you in part by your Central Indiana Chevy dealers. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy. To the glass, and still can't get it to fall. Good hustle for the ball, however, and it finally drops. Shengelia gets the basket. They count it.
That's a good job with Shengelia staying with it. He didn't give up on the play, that's for sure.
Henderson comes out, McGee in. Karnishovis is back in for the Soviets. Todd Leary at that last time out, handling the ball. Pat Graham tipped away, And the Soviets playing a better board game. They're getting some block out in there and coming up with the ball. Karnashovas. Pressure releases underneath, out of bounds off Lawson to the Soviets.
Well, it's really interesting, Chuck, to see how they will jump in the air to pass the ball. And that's a cardinal rule that we try and teach our kids not to do, is always have your feet planted firmly on the ground to make your pass.
Yep. Leonov comes back and pops in 2 more.
Soviets seem like they're playing better ball, but I just think that they're just outclassed almost in every department here.
Pat Knight with a great feed up to the glass. No good. Look at Lawson battle. Goes right back for it again. Couldn't get it to follow. That's concentration in that close because he had a good shot. And up off the glass, Knight with the rebound. Brings it out. Here's a 4-on-2. Where does he go? Takes it right to the basket. Draws the foul, and Pat Knight will go to the line.
That was a good drive there by Patrick. Here we're going to see a replay on it.
Okay, now you've got a situation. Here's a 4-on-2, George. Knight, I think, does the right thing. He keeps the ball.
Well, right there, it looked like everyone was stacked in a little bit too close together, so it makes it a very difficult pass. He had a lane to the hoop. He made the right decision.
Kolomaya in for the Soviets, and I believe the Soviets want timeout. Leonov is really tired, and he comes over to sit down, and we have an official timeout. 13:30 remaining. The score, the AAU All-Stars 77 and the Soviet Nationals 56. We'll be back.
This is it, kid. The highest hill, the toughest customer, and the most abundant pizza in the business. Not like those skimpy pizzas you used to deliver. You're at Pizza Hut now. This baby is loaded. You're telling me.
Oh, a new one, Albert.
Your pizza, sir.
See you tomorrow, rookie.
The most abundant pizzas. No one delivers what Pizza Hut can.
Call Pizza Hut Delivery and get a medium meat lovers pizza delivered for $8.99 or 2 for $12.99.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
That's Hank on the new wheel horse.
Our old one lasted over 15 years.
Uh-huh.
And here's me clearing leaves.
And now we're into winter with the wheel horse in the snow.
Oh, and there we are, thanking the wheel horse dealer because we haven't made a payment yet.
It's freewheeling days. Buy your wheel horse tractor now and make no payments and pay no interest until the 4th of July.
Those were great. Can we see them again? Come on.
See Bowdy Small Engines and Western of Greenwood.
Looking for a little pickup with a lot of pickup? Then take a look at Chevy S10 from your local Chevy dealer. With a 4.3-liter V6 engine, it's far more powerful than Ford Ranger's best 2.9. S10 has a bigger maximum payload rating and a longer, wider box to carry more than Ranger. And now during Chevy Truck Month, get low 2.9 financing or up to $750 cash back. Chevy Truck Month, going on now at your local Chevy dealer. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
Now, some of our happy fans. That bald head right in front, incidentally, belongs to Jim Frederick of the Waffle House here in Indianapolis, and he's just blocked off. I'll have to tell him that he was taken right out of the picture by, I think one of our AAU All-Stars that they're raised up. Okay, Knight misses the first. Here's the second. It's on its way. He misses that too. So Pat Knight 0 for 2 at the line. Leonov pulls up, fires. Rebound comes off to Shengelia. And we have a floor violation.
Goaltending.
Goaltending. They count the basket. Okay, Shengelia with his 8th point.
That's tough to do with international rules.
Well, tonight's game brought to you in part by Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut salutes the fine athletes of the AAU team. To get it your way, call 876-7676 for Pizza Hut delivery in Marion County, Carmel, and Greenwood. McGee.
Nice drive by Leary. Just put it up on the glass a little bit hard. McGee, nice rebound and follow up.
Blocked away. Knight tries to chase it down. McGee over to block. And up off the glass, and an easy 2 is Grazine.
Grazin's had a pretty good night. He seems to have a pretty consistent shot. He's been one of the most consistent players for the Soviets tonight, if not the most.
Lawson goes down hard. The ball caroms off the glass. And here come the Soviets. And up to the glass again goes Grazine. has 17 now, and it's 79-62.
Now I think the American team just needs to settle down, pound the ball inside, and play with a little bit more patience here. They're letting the Soviets get back in this thing. There we go.
Now Lawson with a good move and the shot fake to draw the foul, and that's going to go against Karnashovas.
And a nice pass inside by Pat Graham, too.
You know, the high school book on Pat Graham is that for 6'5", he just has such a marvelous concept of the court. He can see virtually all of it. He has good height, but he is aware of everything as well.
Yeah, he really is. Now he made a nice play there. And when they start stacking it up inside, the big people can punch the ball back out, and they got the shooters who can knock that shot down.
Leary, and they had to stretch on that a little bit. Here's Pat Knight looking inside. Montross up to the glass for two.
That's all the Americans have to do is be patient and get the ball inside, and they can almost score at will against the Soviet team.
Well, Montross is physical enough. He can post up so easily under there. So can Lawson.
Yeah, I think Montross could post up a few NBA players.
That's off the glass and out of bounds to the Soviets. The fans getting all over the officials, Bob Bloom, Norris Fox, and Steve Olson. They've done an excellent job of calling this game. Leonov makes the drive. Intimidation by Montross, and he gets the rebound.
Great effort.
Boy, look at Leary to Graham for two.
Woo. Boy, the guy who really made that play happen was Montross, Chuck. Great defensive effort where he intimidated the Soviet player, got the rebound, made an excellent outlet pass for a nice, easy break.
Three on the way. That's no good. Montross on a deep rebound. It's tipped out. Here's Knight. Holds up, fires, scores!
Nice move by Patrick Knight. I really haven't had a great opportunity to see him play, but I'm impressed with his skills. I think a year of prep school is really going to help him.
A little crossing pattern they use outside. Kulamaya dishes it off, and the rebound. Here's the outlet and tipped away. Good intentions. Knight was thrown a little behind him, but
yeah, there again, Eric really looks. He gets the ball and he really looks down the court. I think that's excellent for a good big man.
McGee back to Knight. Here's Montross. Pat Graham. Look at Montross. The ball is high in the air. He just stays right in there and fights for it. And we have a foul. And let's wait to see if the official calls it on Grazine. Holds his hand up, but let's wait to see if it's him. There it is. It is Sergei Grazine. There he is. 1976 NCAA Player of the Year, Scott May.
Boy, he was an outstanding player, Chuck. I can remember watching him come off them picks. He was almost automatic. Great player.
Well, I just think by the providence of the way things went, you two would have missed playing with each other by a year anyway, wouldn't
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if it had been for his injury, I think it was to a wrist.
That's right.
The year before they had the undefeated season, they could have possibly won 2 championships in a row with that group.
That's right. They lost to Kentucky in the Dayton Regional, and he had broken that wrist in the Purdue game at Purdue. He and John Garrett had collided.
Grazian again.
Well, listen, I'll tell you, Grazine's holding him in the second half. He has 19 points. Montross, it's short. 85-64, 21-point USA lead, and they're going to call the foul on Pat Knight, guarding just a little bit too closely.
Pat got a little over-aggressive there with a reach-in foul. Really wasn't a good foul, but he had good intentions.
Steve Richardson is back in. He's 6'3". He's from Terre Haute South, along with Tony McGee. Richardson has predicted to East Carolina. So McGee goes to Michigan, and Richardson goes to East Carolina. And I'll tell you, East Carolina is going to get a fine ball player in this young man. 6'3", and he can do quite a bit. No good. The Russians crash the board. There's going to be some contact inside and a foul. Karnashovas goes down hard, and Tony McGee uses that football block to...
Karnashova seems to have a real good nose for the basketball. I've been watching him out here tonight, and when he shoots, he always follows his shot. He's come up with 3 or 4 or 5 offensive rebounds after he's taken his own shot. A real good nose for the basketball. From what as I said earlier, the Russian coaches said that he was their most outstanding player. Certainly hadn't had the type of ball game I'd expect tonight, but he has a pretty good all-around game, and he plays the game in a pretty smart way, too.
All right, now, apparently, let's wait and see. I believe that was just the 7th foul. That was just the 7th foul against the Americans, against the AAU Stars. So you have to, the 8th foul is what puts you at the line. So the officials are a little bit premature on that. Don't count the free throw by Karnashovas. Leary, great move. A little too hard off the glass. Richardson back to McGee for 2.
Maybe the Michigan coach might recruit this kid for the basketball team. I know he's going to Michigan on a football scholarship, but boy, he's got some ability.
You know, I asked him if he wanted to play basketball too. Hey, he says, my scholarship's football. I don't know what Coach Schembeckler would think.
I think he'll be playing football, Jeff.
Shengelia with his 10th point. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Montross, great post move, short.
Well, but see how nice and high he keeps that ball when he posts up. There's a nice shot by Karnashovas.
Yeah, that's you know, it takes a good big man and good recognition of how inside play is, George, to recognize that he doesn't bring that ball down very far.
Well, I'll tell you what, I played with a ton of pro ball players who didn't do that. And they've had college experience and years of experience playing professional ball that doesn't do the things as fundamentally well as this kid, Eric.
8.5 minutes remaining. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Wheel Horse Lawn and Garden Tractors. Wheel horsepower works for you. There's the foul. Montross just a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, he got himself going and couldn't stop there.
Pat Knight and Tony McGee sit down. Vanderberg is back in.
I think this has been a real good experience for these young kids. There's a possibility that some of these kids will be on our next Olympic team. So I think it's been a real good experience to play some international competition. Certainly this is not the best the Soviet has to offer, I'm sure. I think they left one of their best players at home, Nikolai Malashev, and he's not here tonight. So, but this has really been a great experience, and one that I think that these kids will treasure.
We have 8:22 remaining. It's a 17-point AAU lead. Tipped away. Montross backing away from the ball just a little bit, and the pass couldn't hook up. There's a good hard move. What do they call? I think a blocking foul. Nope. Offensive foul. They're going to call that against Karnashovas, but the basket's good. Now he lets the ball go and then commits the foul.
I guess it's a pretty good call, Chuck. He looks like he had his feet planted firmly, and Soviet player, of course, ran through him, but he did get the bucket.
Well, I'm checking the board. Did they add the points up there?
I'm not quite sure.
Hard to tell. We'll check during this timeout. We have 8:12 remaining in the ball game. It's the AAU's 87, the Soviet Nationals 72.
We know the feeling.
The feeling of success.
Ponderosa introduces new USDA choice steaks so good, if you're not completely happy, you get your money back, guaranteed.
I'm not gonna taste this steak. If I taste it, I might like it, and if I like it, I'll be happy, and I can't get my money back. Oh, but if I don't taste the steak, I can't get my money back. So I'm tasting. I'm deciding. Yeah, I like it. Ooh, I'm happy.
Ponderosa, just try not to love these steaks.
Okay, the Soviets putting on a little pressure now. We're just back to live action. 8:08 remaining. And now Matt Painter brings it across. And Soviets release some pressure. Whistle stops the action. We have a little bump foul inside called on Ulbrich. Andre Ulbrich, 6'7" from Minsk.
A little push foul. He looked like he just kind of nudged him a little bit from underneath. Officials called a foul. Good call.
It is the 7th team foul against the Soviets. So the next one will put the Hoosier All-Stars at the line. And the Indiana All-Stars already over the limit. Here's Leary. Outside, look at this. Richardson making a couple of good foot moves there. Inside to Leary, drops it back off, and can't get the shot to go. Montross goes back for the stuff, but there was a foul before the effort, and it'll put Eric at the line.
I'm sure these guys have ran that play a few times in their career. Real nice play, Todd, taking it down to the hole and looking for Eric Montross. And Eric done a real good job. Didn't get the first ball to go down, but stayed at it and got the foul.
One of our sponsors of tonight's game, in part, is Sunoco, the home of ultra gasoline, highest octane gasoline under the sun. Painter on the missed free throw. Indiana does maintain possession, goes up to the glass, and he's fouled, and the Hoosier AAUs will go back to the line. Look at this again, George.
Real good hustle. And Matt Painter here just takes the ball, drives it to the hole, and Grayson, of course, reached in for the foul. I really don't know too much about Painter, but just from looking at him out here, looks like he's a real nice, little talented ball player. He seems to handle the ball real well, and he's an excellent outside shooter. He showed us he can take the ball to the hole.
Painter with his first point of the second half. He's been hobbled a little bit with a sore heel, and which may be one of the reasons why he's not playing too much tonight. Injured one of his heels in practice, and you know that's you got a bone bruise down there. And that's just
certainly doesn't make it easy.
Grayson has been the key to the Soviets staying in this game in the second half. He has 21 points, has 10 in the second half. Pressure. Soviets leave their feet very easily. They don't have good balance underneath, George.
They certainly don't. What we were talking about earlier is what they leave their feet to pass the ball, which is something we teach our kids never to do. But they seem to feel comfortable with it.
Leonov, however, has a good move inside, and there's a bad pass, comes into the hands of Shengalia.
Americans now getting just a little bit sloppy. There we have a reach-in foul by Leonov.
Well, they're crashing the boards from all sides. You'll see Leonov come over here. Now watch Montross go up for the ball. And Leonov is there, just sort of hooks across the top of the arm and commits the foul.
The Soviets are traditionally very physical players. There, I think you saw Montross get just a little bit angry, and I think that's good. Sometimes you have got to let the guys know that they're not going to be able to reach in. Well, there's really a fine player and a great human being, Landon Turner.
Some of the funds of tonight's game go to his team down here, and you heard Tim Knight talking about it at halftime. It's great that funds for a game such as this can go to such a worthy cause.
It certainly is.
Save near the center line. Good little move there by Kulamaya. And they call the foul on, loose ball, but they call the foul on Damon Bailey. Bailey can't believe it.
Well, I think Damon brought a lot of fans with him tonight,
didn't he?
He did.
I think he did. Chris Lawson back in. Number 31 checking in. Who's he going to replace? He's going to replace Montross. So the junior from Lawrence North sits down at the 6:30 mark. He has 15 points.
Nice job, Bear. Keep working. You're going to be a fine player.
Yes, he is. Very mature looking facially as well as physically for a junior.
Yeah.
Kulamaya from Tallinn, Estonia.
Soviets seem to be playing just a little bit better right now. They were down like 18 points at halftime. They're playing a little bit better, but they really haven't stood up and made that big run like I expected.
Second is no good. Takes a deep bound, and the Soviets come up with the ball. That's Olbrich. Back out to Leonev. He's the man that handles the ball. What a block by Funderburk. And look at him. He's back down to counter at the other end for two.
Well, that's a great play. Great transition from defense to offense.
There's the travel. You know, the laudits will come sooner or later. But I think one of the things that a lot of young athletes have to recognize is there's Reynolds with a good move.
Well, that kid's something special.
That when you come up with an achievement at one end of the court, you don't want to quit. He completes the play by coming at the other end on the transition.
Oh, I mean, he not only completed it, but he was the one who got it all started with the great defensive block. That's great to see.
Shengelia backs in. Little double step there, and we have a block. And that's called on Funderburk. He's not happy with that.
I think that was a good call, Chuck. Lawrence looked like he was moving his feet just a little bit here. We'll see it on the replay. Looked like he didn't get set and was called. See there, he moved right into the player and was called for a foul. Good call.
One of the AAU All-Stars was asked the other night in practice what he thought of Funderburk. And he said, I'm awed at the fact that he didn't play any high school ball last year and comes out and is as good as he is.
Well, that's the truth.
Lawson bullies his way to get that board. Look out. Little fall away. He likes to do that. He likes to fall back and shoot.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's some things I think that could be worked on, and it certainly will be doing his years down here. But he's got a great outside touch for a big man.
Well, Shengelia with a good spin move missed the first effort, but got his own rebound and put it back in. It's 95-78. Contact on the inside. We have a Soviet foul. That goes on number 6, Grezin, his fourth. Your friendly INB banking centers conveniently located throughout Indiana. So when you want the best banking services available, look for the familiar INB Bison.
Lawrence seems to be doing a better job here this last few minutes of since he's been in the ballgame, of playing with a little bit more patience and letting the game come to him as opposed to forcing it.
Yeah. The Americans try for an overplay and get the steal, and they leave the backcourt vacant, and the Soviets come up with a basket. Kulamaya with his 8th point. Bailey back to Lawson. Oh, what a pass. Reynolds with the steal. Look out. Out of bounds to the Americans.
That was a nice play by Reynolds, but on that particular play, I thought he could have pulled up and maybe looked for Chris Lawson underneath. Just probably one bad decision all night. Ain't bad, though.
Look at Funderburk.
Woo!
Well, you stay tuned for the 10 o'clock news tonight. You'll be able to hear some of the post-game report on tonight's game. Maybe get a chance to see some of this play in replay. That's goaltending. Funderburk just a little bit too close to the basket.
Yeah, he got a little anxious there. The ball was, here we're going to see it on the replay. Shengelia. The ball was on its downward arc.
3 minutes, 58 seconds left to play. This game has been in the hip pocket, so to speak, of the AAUs. Lawson won't fall. 99-82 is the score, and the slam by Grayzine. Well, he has 24 points.
I don't know what Grayson's shooting from the field, but he certainly hadn't missed many shots tonight.
Lob inside, out of bounds. Good hands once again by Grayzine. And we have an official timeout at the 3:31 mark. 3 minutes, 31 seconds remaining. It's the Indiana AAU Stars 99 and the Soviet Nationals 84.
That's Hank on the new wheel horse.
Our old one lasted over 15 years.
Uh-huh.
And here's me clearing leaves.
And now we're into winter with the wheel horse in the snow.
There we are picking up our wheel horse, and we didn't need a down payment.
It's Wheel Horse Freewheeling Days. No money down and easy monthly payments when you save on a Wheel Horse tractor.
Those look great. Can we see them again? Come on.
See M&M Small Engines and Bob and Don Sales and Service.
This is it, kid. The highest hill, the toughest customer, and the most abundant pizza in the business. Not like those skimpy pizzas you used to deliver. You're at Pizza Hut now. This baby's loaded. You're telling me.
Oh, a new one, Albert.
Your pizza, sir.
See you tomorrow, rookie.
The most abundant pizzas. No one delivers what Pizza Hut can.
Call Pizza Hut Delivery and get a medium meat lovers pizza delivered for $8.99 or 2 for $12.99.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
This is the all-new Chevy pickup from your local Chevy dealer.
Just to bring the full-size Ford up to Chevy standards, you need 15 of these because Chevy's full-size engine has a lot more horsepower than Ford. And you'd need 5 of these because the Chevy holds 5 more gallons of gas and gets up to 5 more miles out of every gallon. Oh, and you'll need one of these, too, because the Chevy handles more payload.
The automatic transmission's no charge. Save up to $16.95 at your local Chevy dealer. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy.
Alan Henderson in the lineup now for the AAUs, and Grachev, number 14, is in the lineup for the Soviets that last time out. Thunderbird. Oh, he's got a great arch and a left-handed hook.
Well, he's really nice. He's real nice around the bucket. I like to see him down there a little bit more. He has a tendency to want to play outside a little bit, but he's really tough down low.
Bailey goes in. Correct. That was Pat Graham, rather.
Right.
Goes inside and draws his third foul.
That's Grayson again. As you say, he's got 24 points. Had an outstanding first half. Shot 5 or 6 from the field. Still shooting the ball extremely well. He's got a real nice outside stroke, and he took it to the hole that time for a 2-shot foul.
Now, he has been averaging 2 points on this tour. He has 25 tonight. Shengelia has been averaging 20, and Karnashovas has been averaging 19. They have 14 and 8, respectively. So it's just been a different star emerging to the top for the Soviets.
And it's been like that every game that these guys have played for the 3 games that they've played since they've been in the States.
Alan Henderson, the sophomore from Brebeuf. Here's the steal. Up off the glass, tipped in by Henderson.
That's real nice hustle by Damon Bailey.
There's Bailey with another steal, but picked up by Albrecht.
And Henderson with a nice follow-up.
2.5 on the way. Grayzine misses the shot over the back. Grachev pulls it away from Bailey. Leonov to the glass, tipped up and in.
It's Grayzine again.
105-88. This is the most points scored against the Soviet Nationals on this current tour. Lean fall away won't go, and Henderson tries to follow the missed Thunderbird shot. Out of bounds, kicked out of bounds by Shengelia. And we have substitutions. Morris, Graham, and Blackwell. That's Greg Graham. And Brian Blackwell, rather, for the AAU. Fine hand for Thunderbird. Here comes out Pat Graham, and also coming out is Damon Bailey.
Boy, all them guys done a real nice job. It certainly was nice to him. All these stars out here playing unselfishly and for the good of the team. Great job, fellas.
Morris Tyrone would like to get a basket. Draws the foul, however, as Reynolds will go to the line on the Grazine foul, his 5th.
Well, you got to keep an eye on this Reynolds kid. He's so quick he could miss something.
Watch the move. Look at that. He takes 2 steps. He's around his man, then goes in and he's fouled.
He's got a great first step, and then when he gets his body in motion, he's quick there too.
Reynolds hits the second. He has 12 of those in the second half. 107-88 with 1:45 left to play. Grachev. Back over to Grazine. No, that's Leonov. Over to Grachev. Here's Grazine. The outlet. Look out. What's he going to do? Oh, he drops it off to Morris. Morris wasn't quite ready for it. Reynolds just doesn't let up.
He really doesn't. He's something else.
A little give and go, and the save right back. What do we have? We got a foul, hooking foul on Tyrone. Tyrone Morris going for the loose ball. That really shouldn't have happened. AAU should have come up with that ball.
Yeah, they really should have. They just got a little sloppy there. The ball got away from him. But there was Grayson again.
That painter for Chris Reynolds.
Boy, he's been a real treat to watch this evening. Of course, I didn't know much about him. I'm sure a lot of people here have never seen him play. He was quite a treat. He's going to be an outstanding player.
Grazine, with one more, is going to hit the 30 mark. Some of the fans, 12,112 here officially tonight. Watch this game. Some of them begin to leave. Henderson tries to work it out of trouble. To Morris, now to Blackwell. 1 minute remaining. Blackwell blocked away, but he's fouled before the shot. Let's take a look again. Blackwell will go to the line on 1-on-1. Watch the move.
Nice move there by Blackwell. As you see, Leonov, the Soviet player, reached in for the foul.
Yeah, very tired. You know, didn't move his feet at all.
Yeah, exactly. They've been doing that all night.
Brian Blackwell playing tonight. He is the alternate to this team, and he's playing because of the injury to Calbert Cheaney. Cheaney, however, prognosis is should be ready to play in about 2 weeks. And, of course, this team will go on to Jacksonville, Florida. There's a foul, and that was reach in by Greg Graham. And he's going to be called for personal foul number 2. And then after the Jacksonville, it will be in August on to San Antonio, Texas. So these kids are going to have some good experience by the time college rolls around.
It certainly will, and they have a grueling schedule. Their schedule is a little bit even more fast-paced than the NBA. They're either playing or in the air or practicing. They play just about every other day, it averages out. And they're playing from coast to coast. So they'll get a lot of experience, that's for sure.
45 seconds left, 109-91. Up to the glass, no good. Rebound to the Soviets, and that's Albrecht. 14 is Grachev. And a high arching shot by Leonov.
Leonov, great shot.
22 points for Leonov on that 3. Off to Morris. No. Tip. No. Out of bounds. Well, he called white but pointed to the Soviets. So it was 17 seconds, 16, 15 now. Probably time for this one last effort by the Soviets. Now down to 10. There's that little scoop, dribble, and pass that they do. 3 seconds. Leonov for 3. It won't go, and this game is over. It's been an interesting contest. The Soviets dropped their 3rd in 3 tries, and tonight it was the AAU's Indiana All-Stars getting the job done. Final score 109-94. George and I'll be back for a final word in just a minute.
At INV, we know the feeling.
The feeling of success.
Nothing's too good for my baby. Nothing. So my baby gets very special treatment.
Treat your baby to the gasoline with special detergency that protects the entire intake system.
Fill it up. Ultra.
Sunoco Ultra 94. Clean power from the highest octane under the sun. Nothing else can match it.
Nothing.
Okay, George, there's the final score, 109-94. And let's look quickly at the AAU All-Stars for Indiana. Co-leading scorers, Lawrence Funderburk and Eric Montross with 17 each. They really played a good game.
Yeah, they really did. They were outstanding. 3 other players were also in double figures. They had 5 players in the double figure category, but I was really impressed with the unselfishness. They played hard defensively. They rebounded. They defended. It was just an outstanding show. We had 12,000 people here tonight, and they really got to see a bunch of talented kids play real good hard basketball tonight.
Sergei Grazin had 29, Leonov had 22, and Shengelia had 12. They had 3 in double figures, but again, as you pointed out, it just didn't appear that this team had the stamina to go with these Hoosiers.
Yeah, they seem to be very methodical, a step slow all night. As I said, they've had 3 different players lead them in scoring and rebounding the last 3 ball games. So they need to get a little bit more consistent, and hopefully playing these teams throughout the United States will help them.
Okay, 109-94. We'll be back with a final word in just a minute.
Weekend excitement begins on TTV4. Friday night, Clint Eastwood stars in High Plains Drifter.
What did you say your name was again?
I didn't. Saturday night, when there's a fire in the hole, John Wayne battles the blazes in Hellfighters. And Sunday night, Yul Brynner leads the rescue with the return of the 7th. Look for the stars this weekend on TTV4, the new Channel 4.
The General Store in downtown Bloomington is the one-stop shop for all Indiana fans. Whether it's IU basketball, football, or soccer apparel, Indiana sports art prints, or IU memorabilia, the General Store has it. You can also choose from a full line of Adidas footwear, sweatshirts, and sweaters, including that famous one worn by the General himself. You'll see red at the General Store in downtown Bloomington on the south side of the square in the Fountain Square Mall. Or call 812-333-4242.
Okay, an Indy car is not like the car you drive, but just like yours, it needs regular maintenance for top performance, replacement parts, and occasional minor repairs, many of which you can do if you shop for parts at Auto Works. And look, Castrol motor oil is just 92 cents a quart. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So come on, join the performance team. We are Auto Works! Auto Works!
Well, George McGinnis, I tell you, it's been a real pleasure, and I said at the outset of the show, I really look forward to working with you, and I do, because we've been friends for such a long time. You're very enlightening. You look at things from a big man's view, and it's interesting to know how you feel about Montross and Lawson and Funderburk and all the others, and our thanks to you for such great insight.
Well, thank you, Chuck. I don't really have a whole lot of experience in this business, but I really felt comfortable working with you, and thanks a lot for your help. It was fun.
Okay. So this is Chuck Marlowe from Assembly Hall for George McGinnis, and we hope you folks have enjoyed the game tonight. Final score again, the Indiana AAU All-Stars 109 and the Soviet Junior Nationals 94. Stay tuned now for the 10 o'clock news. So long, everybody.
AAU basketball has been brought to you in part by your Central Indiana Chevy dealers. In Central Indiana, we drive Chevy. By Wheel Horse Lawn and Garden Tractors. Wheel Horse Power works for you. By the INB banking centers throughout Indiana. By Sunoco, home of Ultra Gasoline, the highest octane gasoline under the sun. And by Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut salutes the fine athletes of the AAU team. This has been a TTV4 sports presentation.
Your 3 Indianapolis Honda dealers are giving away a 1989 Civic to celebrate the 500 new Hondas roaring into Indy this spring. 3 places to win a new Civic, and 3 dealers packed with Civics, Preludes, Accords, and CRXs in all the models, colors, and features you want. 500 Hondas means you'll get the deepest discounts and highest trade-ins of the year. So race over to Dan Young Honda, Ed Martin Honda, or Honda West. The Honda 500 will go fast.
Enter a world of dreams and desires.
Domino.
Where a woman's deepest fantasy becomes her greatest fear.
Domino.
Brigitte Nielsen is Domino.
I think somebody's spying on me.
Mon Dieu.
What she wants is love. And she'll do anything to get it. Domino.
A sensual adventure.
Rated R.
Starts tomorrow at theaters everywhere.
Ooh, I'd like to tame your shrew.
Rodney Dangerfield
That's what I call marine biology.
is going back to school.
Monday night at 8 on TTV4.
Indiana Beach, now open weekends, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, 4-H members, families, and friends save on pay one price ride session and camping with special discount coupons. For more information, call 219-583-4141.
There's more than corn in Indiana. That's the super sensational, exciting, occasional Indiana Beach.
Indiana Beach on beautiful Lake Shafer, Monticello, Indiana, proving once again there is more than corn in Indiana.
TTV4, the new channel 4.
And now, from the capital city, with Indiana's first news at night, this is the 10 o'clock news.
Good evening to you. I'm Doug Rafferty.
And I'm Melanie Hastings. It's a quiet night in Panama. No riots and no demonstrations, but it very well may be the calm before the storm.
That's very correct, Melanie. It remains to be seen how Panamanian dictator General Manuel Noriega is going to react to this afternoon's announcement by President Bush that more U.S. troops are headed for Panama.
We are sending a brigade-sized force to Panama to augment our military forces already assigned there. If required, I do not rule out further steps in the future. The United States and all democratic nations in this hemisphere hope that a peaceful resolution can be found to the crisis in Panama.
The president also recalled the U.S. ambassador to Panama and ordered the relocation of all dependents of U.S. personnel. The president's actions followed a decision by the government of Panama to nullify the results of Sunday's presidential election. Bush's decision came after he conferred with congressional leaders, and he has their support. Meanwhile, in Panama City, there was little visible evidence of political unrest. Streets were clear, although occasional military patrols could be seen. Opposition leaders kept a low profile throughout the day, unwilling to risk the kind of confrontations that occurred yesterday, in which 2 of 3 opposition leaders were hospitalized. The mission of the U.S. troops being sent to Panama is to protect American lives and property, as well as the security of the Panama Canal. The first military units will be moving within the next 24 hours. They will be armed with mortars and light field artillery. They will join 10,000 military units already in Panama.
Well, just how involved should the United States become in the Panama situation? Several Hoosiers we talked with tonight have their own ideas.
Well, we have to protect our American citizens, but
don't think we should get too involved. I think it's time to lay off a little bit.
I think we ought to get involved. We can't live without that canal down there. And Noriega has been a pain.
I go in there and take it right over.
We put it in, and we have been the ones who have controlled it thus far. And right now, with the situation the way it is down there, I think they're so unstable that they really don't have the abilities to do it. So someone's going to come in and run it anyhow for them. So consequently, we might as well be the ones that are doing it.
I certainly wouldn't want to see us get into an armed conflict there, but I think something has to be done to...
Tomorrow morning, 13 members of the Indiana National Guard will leave for Panama. The soldiers are broadcast and photojournalists who will participate in a 2-week training mission. The troops will be on a military base and not in Panama City. Some who are going say that they are not nervous.
Very comfortable. Why? I feel very confident in the people that are there. I feel they will take totally, good care of us and send us right back home safely.
While in Central America, the Guardsmen will also produce some news stories from military bases in Guatemala and in Honduras.
Well, until today, it had been a very safe month of May at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That's in spite of record speeds. That all came to an end this afternoon when something went very wrong with Danny Sullivan's car. Scott Bridge joins us tonight with the latest on Sullivan's condition.
Well, the accident looked much worse than it actually was for Sullivan. As a matter of fact, his boss, Roger Penske, says if he's ready to go, we'll put him out there this weekend.
In the backup car.
Exactly. A fractured right forearm, a mild concussion, and a bruised right foot are what's ailing former Indy 500 champion Danny Sullivan tonight. Let's take a look at what happened to Sullivan earlier today in practice at the Motor Speedway. Now, Sullivan was coming out of turn 3, or he was just entering turn 3, rather. The engine cover, came off of his car, and then Sullivan loses control. The car slides 645 feet sideways, slams into the outer wall, and at the end of the third turn, skids another 480 feet, finally coming to a stop. Now, we're going to see it in slow motion here. When you see it like this, it is just amazing that the injuries were not more serious to Sullivan. Now, he underwent surgery this afternoon, and he is resting at Methodist Hospital. And as car owner Roger Penske said, if he's ready to go by this weekend, they will put him in the backup car.
Okay, it's just a fracture, just a crack in the bone, not really a broken arm.
Exactly. And they were just setting that, and if once he gets used to having that brace, that cast on, he'll be in good shape. And if it happens by this weekend, he'll be out at the Speedway.
All right. More on 500 report a little bit later in the show as well. Thanks, Scotty. Late word in the news center this evening. Let us bring you up to date on this. In Waterloo, that's in DeKalb County in northern Indiana, 5 members of one family, a father, mother, 2 sons, and 1 daughter, found shot to death in their home late this afternoon by police. Police at this time, Indiana State Police, believe that they may have a murder and suicide on their hands, but that is not confirmed at this hour. Authorities say nobody had seen the family since May 3rd. They now tell us they had to get a court order to enter the house this afternoon. When police did so, they found the bodies. They also found a handgun inside the home. Once again, 5 members of one family, identified only as the Fager family in DeKalb County in northern Indiana, found dead this afternoon in their home. We'll have more on that for you as the details become available. Melanie.
More sad news. 1 man is dead, another in serious condition following a spectacular 6-vehicle wreck on the city's northwest side. The accident happened at 4:45. Police say this moving van ran a red light and then slammed into a car that was crossing Michigan Road at 60th Street. The truck pushed the car into 4 other vehicles. Killed is 39-year-old Scott Van Dung of West 50th Street. Injured is his male relative who was a passenger in that car. Now, the trucker, 30-year-old Kenneth Moose of West 58th Street, was not injured. Everybody at the scene tested negative for alcohol. Eyewitness Kathy Brumledge says she is lucky to be alive tonight.
That car pulled out. I don't know if it was going to turn left or right or go straight, but the semi came through the intersection doing about 50, ran the light, and dragged the car all the way from the intersection all the way here. It didn't apply his brakes because I didn't hear no squeaking or squealing or anything.
Police say at least 4 others were injured and taken to area hospitals. The case is going to the grand jury, which will decide whether to press charges.
Well, the verdict in the murder trial of a Carmel man is not guilty. 23-year-old David O'Donnell faced charges in connection with the 1986 murder of Duy Ki Hoang, a Vietnamese refugee who worked as a janitor at Carmel High School. The jury began its deliberations late yesterday. It returned its verdict this afternoon. O'Donnell could have faced the death penalty. Prosecutors say they just didn't have the physical evidence necessary to make their case. On the night beat tonight, Fort Wayne police report 2 arrests in the robbery and attempted murder of an elderly woman. The victim, identified as Louise Rousseff, is in serious condition tonight after two men came to her home and asked for water for a broken-down car. When she tried to help, they stole her diamond ring and slashed her throat. Police nabbed the pair a short time later. Also on the night beat, a fire in a two-story home reported in Wayne Township. The blaze happened about at 2541 North Raceway Road. It was out quickly, no one hurt. That's a look at night beat this night.
A 22-year-old Indianapolis woman is behind bars tonight facing charges of child neglect and death caused by neglect. Police arrested Sandra Goodman of 2356 North New Jersey Street after her 7-month-old son Joseph drowned in the bathtub. Goodman told police she left her 3 children, all under the age of 4, in the tub for 30 minutes unattended.
I called out to her several times that the infant his head was wet, and what they were telling her was that the child was under the water. Autopsy, we found that the child had unwrapped bubble gum in its stomach. It swallowed the bubble gum while it was still in the wrapper, which raised some questions.
Police say Goodman's home is in a high drug crime area. Goodman had confessed to police that she had been heavily smoking marijuana at the time of the drowning death on Saturday. Police confiscated weapons and drug paraphernalia, including a crack cocaine pipe from the home. No drug charges have been filed. Goodman is in the county jail pending a court appearance. Her 2 children, aged 2 and 4, are in the custody of a guardian. Goodman could face 6 to 20 years if convicted on all counts. Another Marion County substitute school teacher is being charged with child molestation. The case allegedly comes from Perry Township. 22-year-old Robert Shaw is charged with 1 count of child molest and 5 counts of battery. Marion County Sheriff's investigators say the incidents involved 5 boys aged 8 through 10 at Winchester and Clinton Young elementary schools. The incidents allegedly occurred on 3 separate days in February. A Pike Township substitute school teacher also was recently charged with child molest.
The cleanup of a chemical spill that threatens the Indianapolis drinking water supply continues tonight. Thousands of gallons of waste oil discovered yesterday in Eagle Creek in Boone County. The waterway feeds into Eagle Creek Reservoir that supplies the city with drinking water. Wendy Scott has the latest on the story.
Water tests show that the chemicals in Eagle Creek was a mixed bag of tricks. They were petroleum products and industrial solvents. The toxic chemical compound came from this abandoned asphalt company storage tank located just north of Zionsville. Vandals are being blamed for letting its contents escape.
Nothing's going to happen to people that live in the area as long as they're not bathing in it or drinking it.
But it's too late for some area livestock. This calf was found dead on the bottom of the creek along with lots of fish.
And I could tell the rusty water was something else than oil. And we started noticing the dead fish, and they were gasping for air, some of them.
Zionsville residents say the storage tank was leased by EnviroChem. The hazardous waste recycler is now closed, but the EPA would not confirm those rumors today.
It's an accident everybody's been afraid would happen, and, you know, we've been afraid of worse, but this is bad enough. We don't need any worse than this.
Booms have been placed along sections of the creek to absorb chemicals floating on its surface. The cleanup could take several days to complete. This bridge at 86th Street marks the point where the creek starts dumping into the reservoir. State environmentalists are confident that they have taken enough precautions to make sure that the waste oil doesn't dump into this area. But just in case, Indianapolis's drinking water will constantly be checked. Wendy Scott for the 10 o'clock news.
By the way, the storage tank property owner plans to pay for some of the cost of this chemical cleanup. The state will pick up the rest of the tab, and that may very well run into the thousands of dollars. There's other news of the environment this evening. Meteorologist Jeff Lazalier is here with that story. Jeff?
Certainly nothing as pressing as what we just saw, but of course, you know, on a sunny day like this, no one really thinks about rain, but that's what some folks were thinking about today. Now, as we reported Tuesday night, acid rain is becoming even more of a serious problem across the country, and even right here in Indiana lately. In a public meeting this afternoon, Governor By's interagency acid rain panel discussed the state's efforts in analyzing this growing issue. There are several pieces of acid rain legislation currently under consideration in Congress. All of these bills would have a significant effect on Indiana's coal industry and electric companies. The governor's panel is trying to determine how severe the impact might be on consumers, workers, business, and the environment. We'll learn more from this group as it investigates the state's acid rain problem further on down the line. And one of the words out is that if we do continue to see this legislation push through, there's a possibility that electric ratepayers, because the electric utilities are some heavy users of heavy sulfur coal, could push the rates up as much as 40%. So that's something we're going to be investigating in the future, or at least that panel will be. Now, today in Indianapolis, the bright sunshine gave us a high temperature of 63 degrees. 63 degrees. The low this morning was chilly, though, with clear skies and light northerly winds. Our low temperature dropped down to 39. Now, this evening, things have cooled off significantly. Let's take a look outside. Well, this afternoon was beautiful out at the track with the warm temperatures. Thousands of people turned out to watch the folks go, and go they did. As you can see them zipping around there very, very rapidly. Speeds over 200 miles an hour, and temperatures, of course, in the 60s made it a pleasant afternoon, but those brisk northerly winds made it feel cool. Currently, it's clear and 48, humidity 46%, northerly winds still up at 10, the barometer falling. Elsewhere around Indiana this evening, we can see temperatures as cool as 43 degrees up in the South Bend area, as warm as 53 degrees down in Evansville right now, and in between temperatures generally in the upper 40s to the low 50s, as you can see. Northerly winds continuing, but they're starting to drop off. So again, up north toward the South Bend area, there could be some patchy frost overnight tonight with clear to partly cloudy skies. And I'll be back with a closer look at the forecast as we head toward the weekend in just a little bit.
I was glad to see the sun today.
It was nice.
All right, thanks, Jeff. The suburbs of Indianapolis have seen remarkable growth in recent years. Just look at Carmel and Castleton and Greenwood. Well, the latest boom is occurring on the city's west side. Avon is one of the fastest growing communities in the state. Now the town is considering taking steps toward incorporation. But as Mark Baker explains, not everybody's happy about that.
Avon Station opened last fall. The shopping center is surrounded by empty fields. Nearby signs tell of more building on the way. Avon is just west of Indianapolis in Hendricks County. It's the newest bedroom community in central Indiana.
The Avon area is experiencing a growth rate second only to Noblesville in the state of Indiana. In fact, it's been called the second Carmel. Now a group of residents want to incorporate Avon. They want to make it a real town with a police force, a street department, a planning commission, and yes, even taxes.
Kim Hampton and Ron Maston are members of the Washington Township Advisory Board.
We want it to develop right. We want the people to have the say-so, not the county commissioners. Not that they're not doing a fine job, but we live here, they don't.
Vicki Griffith has lived in Avon most of her life. She likes the country. Griffith knows the area is booming, yet she doesn't like a possible tax increase to support the town.
The only thing that bothers me is taxes, and I think that bothers a lot of people. Just the more taxes to pay. It's hard to earn a living these days.
Mandy Galovic and her family have lived in Avon for 10 years. She says the development is terrific. She's proud that Avon may soon become a real town.
No one likes to pay higher taxes, but with all the development going on, I think there's a little benefit both ways on that.
Township Advisory Board members are sensitive to higher taxes. They're moving slowly on Avon's incorporation. They expect to make their proposals in public meetings later this year. Mark Baker, the 10 o'clock news.
The process to incorporate Avon might take a year or longer. Residents will get to see the proposal this fall, and then petitions about it will be circulated. It's then up to the Hendricks County Commissioners to decide if the community will become incorporated and take that next step up in growth.
The price you have to pay for progress.
Never comes easy. Coming up on the 10 o'clock news, pictures of a $3 million egg.
And a missile that didn't make it. We'll be right back.
Cambridge Inn Cafeteria is remodeled with a bright contemporary decor. And now our all-day special is roast turkey and dressing with all the trimmings for $3.49.
Weekend excitement begins on TTD4. Friday night, Clint Eastwood stars in High Plains Drifter.
What did you say your name was again?
I didn't. Saturday night, when there's a fire in the hole, John Wayne battles the blazes in Hellfighters. And Sunday night, Yul Brynner leads the rescue with the return of the Seven. Look for the stars this weekend on TTD4, the new Channel 4.
You've noticed it before. Something missing in your margarine. Taste, flavor, richness. Now, Land O'Lakes has found what you've been missing. The taste of sweet cream. In new Land O'Lakes spread with sweet cream. Just enough sweet cream to make it sweet. Creamy, buttery, yet each serving is cholesterol-free. New Land O'Lakes spread with sweet cream. That taste you've been missing.
This portion of tonight's news is brought to you in part by Weesey Ford, 96th and Keystone.
The race is on at Wheezy Ford. The race to sell more cars in May than ever before, and we've got the team that can do it. We've got sporty Mustangs in every color, a dependable Taurus with the options you want, and the very exciting all-new Thunderbirds. We've got special rebates and interest rates that can't be beat. And we've got qualified salespeople ready to put you in the car or truck perfect for you. So start your engines and get to Wheezy Ford, 96 in Keystone, where car shopping is so easy at Wheezy.
This week's trip to Moscow by Secretary of State Baker may lead to more progress in arms reduction among the world's superpowers. Both the United States and the Soviet Union will resume talks in June on reducing strategic weapons and halting nuclear tests. Also, there's word the Soviets will announce the removal of 500 nuclear warheads from their forces in Europe. The U.S. and its NATO allies cannot agree over whether to reduce or upgrade its nuclear stockpile.
Speaking of missiles this evening, yesterday the Air Force successfully launched a Titan rocket and a secret payload from Cape Kennedy. The luck was not as good today on the West Coast, where the first test of a Midget Man missile ended in failure. Here's more from Taylor Henry.
9, 8.
It started out like clockwork, the countdown to the first test flight of America's controversial Midget Man missile.
1. And we have a liftoff.
But 70 seconds into the flight, after the missile disappeared from view above the Vandenberg Air Force Base launch site and the firing of its second stage engine, something went wrong.
The missile began to tumble, and properly the range safety people sent a command destruct on the missile into its flight.
The radio-transmitted destruct signal caused the unarmed missile to explode just over 2 minutes into the flight, scattering debris 1,100 miles off the California coast, about 4,000 miles short of its target, a small island out in the Pacific. The failure provides ammunition for congressmen opposed to continued Midget Man funding. Unless Congress cuts the funding, development of the Midget Man will continue toward deployment of the first of 500 missiles in 5 years at a cost of nearly $40 billion. President Bush says the Midget Man is needed to strengthen U.S. bargaining power in arms control talks with the Soviets, who already have their own mobile land-based missiles. And the Air Force says as long as there's funding for the Midget Man, it will continue to test and refine this new missile. Taylor Henry, CNN, Vandenberg Air Force Base, California.
Retired Air Force Major General Richard Secord is under indictment with 9 felony charges for his alleged participation in the Iran-Contra scandal. The latest charges allege Secord lied in 1987 testimony before the Congressional Iran-Contra Committee. A federal grand jury actually handed the charges down last month, but they were kept secret until after the Oliver North trial. Secord already faces trial on 6 other charges.
In the world tonight, soccer sparks another riot in Europe. Fire sets back medical research, and a South American leader goes hunting for support. Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega is on a 10-day European tour, trying to drum up economic support for his nation. The trip included this brief stop in Dublin, Ireland. Earlier this week, Ortega met with British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and West German Chancellor Helmut Kohl. Soccer violence continues in Europe. This time, a victory celebration in Barcelona turned violent. Barcelona beat Italy in a World Cup match, and 30,000 fans hit the streets. The party turned into a riot that left 5 policemen hurt and 23 youths under arrest. In Maine, firefighters are not sure what touched off a blaze at a research laboratory. Flames hurt 5 people and destroyed nearly 500,000 research mice. The lab is the world's leading supplier of genetically identical mice. The loss will set back some research on cancer, AIDS, diabetes, and other diseases. An egg worth $3 million? That's right, if it's a Fabergé Easter egg. The hand-painted specialty sold for the astounding amount at a Christie's auction in Switzerland. A New York art dealer bought the so-called pinecomb egg for an unidentified collector who really could have some kind of an Easter egg hunt. And that's the world tonight. I think I have a place for that egg in my living room.
I wouldn't put that one out.
Well, it would have been a good day for an Easter egg hunt, or just about anything else outside.
That's right. Of course, very warm conditions across the area today. Not quite up to normal, though. Again, our low this morning was a frosty 39, topped out at 63 this afternoon here in Indianapolis. And we're going to see more of this seasonably cool weather for the next few days. And I'll be back in just a bit with the complete forecast details for you. Stay there.
There's never been a better time to swing a Jeep Eagle deal.
0% financing on select Jeep Cherokees. 0% financing on Jeep Comanche. And 0% financing on Jeep Grand Wagoneer. You're up next at your Jeep Eagle dealer. There's never been a better time to swing a deal.
Expect the best from your Central Indiana Jeep Eagle dealers.
Jimmy, did you know your daddy is planning for your future? He just bought a Toro GTS lawnmower with a 5-year starting guarantee. For 5 years, it'll start in the first or second pull, or Toro will fix it free. So your daddy knows it'll be around a long time, which means someday you might be using it to mow the lawn.
Save up to $150 on a new Toro at these Toro dealers.
You'd be surprised at what goes into a Madden sofa that doesn't go into other fine sofas. We cut and lay every section of fabric by hand. The pattern matches beautifully. We pad outside the frame arms and back. The fabric won't wear through. Fine Madden furniture always sells for at least half suggested retail, because at John J. Madden, we make it upstairs and we sell it downstairs. And that makes all the difference.
Check Marks, your Indianapolis Pace Aero dealer, and see how the price of luxury just went down. Amazing storage room with full passenger compartments and a level floor plan from front to rear make the Pace Aero something special. And check Marks for America's finest travel trailer, Avion by Fleetwood. Luxury features inside and out at affordable prices. Marks RV, a Fleetwood showcase of quality. Also featuring Jamboree mini homes, Terry travel trailers, and fifth wheels.
Check Marks, Marks RV.
The weather segment of tonight's newscast is brought to you by Mark's RV Sales, the check mark of excellence.
You know, Jeff, I think we're finally getting some early spring weather. I know it's mid-May, but it really feels like we've been put on hold since about April.
That's right. Well, you know, Mother Nature, since spring came around officially, I guess, around the 21st of March when the calendar said spring, Mother Nature's been treating us like a big rubber band. She'll stretch us real warm for a while, then she'll let it go and we'll get cold again, you know, with the snow last weekend. And then since that time, it's trying to stretch back out, but we're kind of right in the middle now, and eventually we will start to warm up. But when that time comes is still at least a ways off. Again, a cooler than normal day today. Overall, though, a very pleasant day with the bright sunshine, and those northerly winds kept it a little on the cool side. If the winds had been out of the south, we probably would have been anywhere from 8 to maybe 10 degrees warmer. Well, let's take a look outside this evening. Winds are dying down. A beautiful shot from the bus station over toward the State House, and temperatures are also cooling off as the sun sets. It's 48 degrees and clear right now in Indianapolis. Humidity at 46%. Winds out of the north at 10, but they'll die off a bit later on tonight. The barometer right now is starting to fall. As far as what's happening in our weather picture on the national map, we can see that the system that was just to our southeast, down across the southeast yesterday, has now pushed on off into the Atlantic. I'd mentioned over the past couple of days that if this were to back up close to us, we could start to see clouds and maybe even some sprinkles recirculate back through the eastern half of the state of Indiana over the next couple of days as we head toward the weekend. Well, this front is not going to move back toward us, but this low is not really going anyplace. Right now, just off the coast of New Jersey, there's another low starting to form, a very weak one, though, over the Great Lakes, and that's going to be enough to actually pull some clouds in over the eastern half of the state, especially tomorrow, and then as we get on into Saturday and Sunday. So the general trend of the forecast is going to be partly to mostly cloudy, maybe a couple of sprinkles here or there. Enough cool air from this high across the Great Lakes produced a little bit of wet snow in western New York today, but the strangest weather is a place you wouldn't expect it. Tornadoes down near Carlsbad Caverns in southeastern New Mexico, scattered heavy thunderstorms, baseball-size hail in southwestern Texas with warm, humid air ahead of this front. That's not going to bother us for the next few days. It's probably not going to hit us until the first part of next week. Let's take a look and see how warm it was across the United States. Nobody really hot today, except way down in South Texas, 90s down in that area of the extreme southern portion of the Rio Grande Valley. 60s, 50s, and 40s in our neck of the woods, and very chilly as you get on up into New England. Now, as far as the satellite picture goes, mostly fair skies still, but there you can see those clouds recirculating around the weaker low that's back behind the main low off the coast of New Jersey, and that is going to try to slowly push into our area later tonight and tomorrow. So your forecast overnight into tomorrow morning, it's going to be fair to partly cloudy, but with gradual increasing clouds by the rush hour from the east. It'll be cool. Our low should drop to 40, and again up north, even cooler into the 30s. Could be some patchy frost unless those clouds move in quickly, especially up toward South Bend. By lunchtime, Temperatures to 55, partly to mostly cloudy and cool. And into the afternoon, expect mostly cloudy, a few sprinkles. Your extended forecast toward the weekend, partly to mostly cloudy, a couple of sprinkles possible off and on. Temperatures, though, gradually warming up into Monday and Tuesday as that next front approaches us. Probably a better chance for some storms as that front gets here by the middle of next week. But in the interim, it's going to be a cool and perhaps a sprinkly weekend, but we will see the sun peeking in and out at times.
Maybe it'll be some good race weather, too.
We'll try.
Let's hope so.
Looks like enough time on Saturday to get qualifications in by track.
Probably should be okay. Also, Saturday night for the Winston 200, too.
All right, very good. Thanks, Jeff. The music world is mourning the deaths of two legendary names in the world of jazz. Trumpeter and composer Woody Shaw is dead of kidney failure at the age of 44. Shaw, who lost his left arm several months ago in a New York subway accident, died after a long illness. And Max Gordon, known as New York City's patron saint of jazz, is dead at 86 following surgery. Many jazz greats got their start at Gordon's Village Vanguard nightclub. That was a landmark of modern music.
Talk about living alone. An Italian woman has spent the past 4 months living alone in an underground cave. But as Chris Abel tells us, the stay isn't a vacation. It's an experiment being conducted by Italian scientists.
Fellini in a trailer. Two Italian scientists monitor the interior decorator's progress through video cameras and wires attached to her body. The scientists are part of a non-profit group called Pioneer Frontier Explorations. Every day they ask Miss Fellini psychological questions. Check her blood pressure and temperature. When asked what day it was, she thought it was March 10th, although the